Everybody good on their mics?
Yeah, we good on the mics, but you should have hung that motherfucking jersey up because they ain't even they going fishing for the summer, so you should have hung that damn punk ass jersey up.
Yo. Got a little low.
Yeah, I turn it down because we get loud.
Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
what's your jersey?
The motherfucking jersey
I
you
do
got
get
on
loud.
right now.
No.
Y'all going fishing, motherfucker.
Yeah.
I'm allowed.
Go ahead. Go on, get the shit started.
Yeah. Welcome to the sports panel. I am your host, Will. As always, like, subscribe, do all the things. Shoot us some messages of what you guys want to see. We always check those. We always make sure that we show gratitude where gratitude is due. Follow us on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, all that shit. I am your host, Will. Guys, go ahead and introduce yourselves.
Coach Dre, Mr. Daddy, sir.
Coach Corey, as always. Coach gon' coach.
Jason, the expert.
This man
One of one.
shit. I'm Mark.
And I'm just Mark.
Yeah, that's all I got.
Mark.
Man, we gonna have to
Move
get
your mic closer, Mark.
Mark. Man, we gonna have to get you a cool ass name, bro.
I'm all right.
We just can't keep calling you Mark. You know what I'm saying? What's from Boys in the Hood? Punk ass Mark.
Mark.
Mark ass
Mark
nigga.
ass
Right.
trick.
Exactly.
Mark ass.
You just a punk ass Mark.
Stepped on my sneakers.
That's a
Right.
that's a diss to a blood.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
He's old. We'll get right into it. All the information is coming out about Shador Sanders.
Wait a minute.
What?
We ain't gonna just go straight to it this week.
What you mean?
We got to address
Nah,
the
you
elephant in the room.
nigga, you wrote this shit
Yes.
first.
Hey, no.
We got
Hey,
to
he
address
we go in order.
the
He
elephant
said
in
go
the
in
room.
order. He's saying let's go with the biggest elephant in
Let's
the
go.
room.
No,
right
no,
now.
no,
Okay.
no.
Fuck it, let's go. Let's go.
No, I'm just saying. You know, let's just say.
Let's
get
go.
this out the way
Okay,
before
okay,
you know
okay.
This
we
is the
even go
first
to
time
the
you don't wanna
script.
start with that.
Obviously.
Yeah.
No,
I'm not
ducking
saying
no
we're
smoke.
not doing the script. I'm not saying we're not going on script.
We're
What
going-
I'm saying is
We got to get
let's
the people what they want. Get the
Because
people what they want. Because it's cool. Let me get my
we
notes.
remember what happened the last couple weeks. We had a Lakers
yeah,
rant
yeah,
one
yeah,
week,
yeah.
and then we had a LeBron James rant the second week.
No.
Yeah,
it
you
wasn't.
did.
Oh, yeah, it was.
And
It was
and
different. It was
just
different.
so happened the third week, both those rants are kind of, you know.
So the
gelled
rant that I
in
had
one.
the rant that I had the first week, I said in that rant, and I sent it in the group chat. I said that I don't care what happens in the playoffs. I don't care what happens. I don't care what happens. I don't care if we ever.
Because
I
you
don't care
said
if LeBron
that you're going to have JJ and Luka
And Luka.
in the future.
in the future,
Right. Because you said you don't care what's going on with LeBron.
No,
The best player on the team.
he's 40.
The best player on the team.
No, I say he's the best player ever. I didn't say he was the best player on the team.
No, but I'm just telling you, he's the best player on the team, right?
No, I don't think so. No, I think Luka is the best player on the team, and Luka gets priority.
Right, okay.
That's why today, actually, it's being reported that Luka already negotiated his new deal, but also there was a video of Rob Pelinka, JJ Redick, and Luka Doncic leaving a restaurant all together today, and Rob Pelinka had files in his hand, like thick binder files in his hand.
Trying
So
to
there-
find ways to get rid of
Was it a
LeBron.
diet plan?
I don't know.
Was it the
Honestly-
keto? Was it the keto diet in the folder?
Honestly, so looking at the playoffs, like my assessment of the playoffs, it's well. Here, I'll get. Let's answer because I found some good answers to your questions. So we'll get right into it. The first thing is that you wrote down about the Lakers is stop saying y'all king needs more help when Bronny is wasting a roster spot.
Agreed.
So let me go over.
Let's go in order.
So how did the Lakers lose this series?
Oh, lose the series? Oh, great. I'm
No,
glad.
wait a minute. You feel like they lost because they didn't have a center, right?
No,
No big men.
no. It wasn't just that. No.
Oh,
so
okay.
how did they lose this?
So
I don't agree with that sentiment that Dre wrote about Bronny.
no.
But you don't.
Because-
You
I don't
don't
need.
agree
No,
with
no,
him
no.
holding
We're
a
gonna
roster
get
spot?
in that. We're gonna get in that because I got some for that too. We're gonna get in that. But just to address how the Lakers lost the series, there are 4 key stats, right?
Okay.
Fast break points, points off turnovers, total rebounds, and offensive rebounds.
Nice that you said
Right.
fast break points.
Yes.
Didn't they choose to play small ball to outrun this team?
No, it wasn't to outrun the team.
Didn't they choose to play small ball to outrun?
That was not the purpose of.
What's the
playing
reason
small.
to play small ball?
Because
Because you took out the center that you had when you had the number one defensive efficiency in the league for 9 weeks straight. The starting center that you had, Jackson Hayes.
He didn't close games. No.
The starting center that you had during the time that the Lakers had the first efficiency, number one efficiency for 9 weeks was Jackson Hayes.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes or no?
Let me ask you a question. He started the games, yes, but
so now he can't play at all.
No. Okay, so one thing you said that was very poignant and that made a lot of sense is that the offense can, like, when you're in the playoffs, they'll scheme against you.
Right.
Jackson Hayes is not built to play against Rudy Gobert. He's not. He is not. He is not that guy.
Now, don't give me that. Don't get anybody can play
no,
against
no,
Rudy
no,
Gobert.
No,
what happened when he played against Rudy Gobert in the regular season?
It's the play. You said it. And
what
you were
happened
right.
when he
It's the
played
playoffs.
against Rudy Gobert in the regular season?
We won games, but it wasn't. We played Rudy Gobert off the court, but that's not what happened this time.
Why not?
I'll tell you why. Because points off turnovers and fast break points were where we hurt the most. Points off turnovers, we got outscored 53 to their 94. If we got those points back, we would have won every game. But LeBron James and Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves were careless with the basketball in every single game, even the game we won.
You don't think Luka's defense hurt y'all?
It wasn't Luka's defense. Luka's defense is the way that you configure Luka's defense, because you know that you're going to give up.
So this is
You're going to give up 20 off Luka.
So,
but you give up 20 to gain 40. That's the way. That's the way it works.
Now you're going.
But no points off. But no points off turnovers. 94 to 53. Fast break points was almost even. We actually outscored them in fast break points. But the games that we lost, it was glaring. That's because
you're talking about the results of the stats afterwards. I'm talking about why did y'all lose?
That's the results show you why you lost.
No, it don't.
It don't. That last
the results do not show you.
Yes. No. Look. We had a possession. Look,
a statistic cannot show you what happened in the third and the fourth possession.
In game 3 that we should have won.
When y'all was up game 3?
Yeah, game 3 that we won. In the last 2 minutes, I believe LeBron had 2 key turnovers, where he just gave the ball away on inbound passes.
But on that, he had 6 points in the fourth on that game. That's the most he got all series.
In the last 2 minutes, he gave up the ball when we could have gotten.
But y'all won that game.
No, game 3. We won game 2.
You want? Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh, okay. So
yeah, that was a game that we lost. And every game afterwards, after that, we legitimately turned the ball over way too much. Game 3, we turned the ball over. Game 3, they had 28 points off turnovers versus our 13. Game 4, they had 19 points off turnovers versus our 5. And game 5, they had 16 points off turnovers versus our 11. So they literally threw away the game. The players threw away the game. If you're watching a game, you're watching that, and I understand we played small ball, yes, but Jackson Hayes is not a playable center. Jackson Hayes in 30 minutes in the series.
I don't want to know about the series because he didn't do nothing that series. What happened with Jackson Hayes during the 9 to 10 weeks that y'all was number one in defensive efficiency?
Jackson, he was playing, but he wasn't the only center.
He was the starting center, man. Come on.
He wasn't the only center. No. We were
y'all
rotating.
Lost. Y'all lost because y'all was 0 in points in the paint.
Exactly.
0, last in points in the paint.
Yes.
And last in points defended in the paint.
Yes.
And also, scheme-wise, y'all lost. So, I'm going to tell you because this is what I've seen watching the game.
Scheme-wise, you mean playing small ball?
No. They decided to blitz Anthony Edwards, no matter where he was on the court.
Right.
So by them blitzing Anthony Edwards 10 feet from the free throw line, what does that do?
It leaves other players open, and it forces other players to shoot, which they didn't think would happen.
It don't force them to shoot because all they did was put Rudy Gobert. He stood right there on the block.
You got that too.
He stood there on the block. They threw it to DiVincenzo. He threw it right back down to Rudy Gobert. Now you having 6'8" LeBron or 6'8" Hachimura trying to run and defend him out of position.
So you think that if we had a center on the court, that would have been better, right?
It would at least
That's one thing.
Man.
But Jackson Hayes is not a playable center. Jackson Hayes averages.
All you have to do is stand in front of Rudy Gobert. We all know that. All you have to do that. Rudy Gobert is not that dude. All you have to do is stand in front of him.
He can't create
He ain't
nothing.
that good.
He's not going to give you what he gave them.
Honestly, Y'all made him look like he was
Do you know how much smaller
greatest thing
Jackson Hayes is than Rudy Gobert?
He's not
And
that
also,
much
Jackson
smaller.
Hayes is not great
How
at
tall
defense
is
at
it?
all.
How tall is he?
I believe he's 6'11" or 7 foot.
He's not that much smaller than
He
Rudy
ain't
Gobert.
that.
But
He ain't that much smaller.
The thing is, Jackson Hayes is a defensive liability.
So if they're choosing to go small,
Jason, am I tripping? Is Jackson Hayes not a defensive liability?
is he more of a defensive liability in the scheme that you use, or he more of a defensive liability because who he is?
Because of who he is as a player.
No, but check this out. Hold on. The scheme that you use, how you going to put your players in that position? There's no way that you can win like that.
I understand.
You
That's
know
what I'm
how-
saying. And here's the thing. I think
You got a stat
I think the
line
whole
over there?
no. I think the whole perception of everything is kind of skewed because when we first got Luka, I remember that night we first got Luka and we were.
It was the next day.
It was the next day, and I remember we were all sitting here, and I was like, "Yeah, we're probably not gonna win a chip because we don't have a center." And everybody,
You've been
everybody
saying
in the
that.
sports world.
You've been saying that all year until during
Until
that
they-
9 and 10 week
they
period
started-
when y'all was
yeah.
number one in efficiency.
Yeah.
When y'all gave away Anthony Davis,
Yes.
you said we don't need it. We got this. We're number one.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
And I was wrong. I was completely wrong because the
And
reality of the
that's
situation.
that's you wasn't just wrong. JJ Redick was wrong.
I think
he
what-
catfished all of us.
What? No.
Yeah,
I
he
think-
catfished us.
I
he
think
had
what
them
J-
looking real good in the season, and when the playoffs came, we seen how ugly they ass was.
I think you also have to
He
keep it.
catfished us.
I think you also have to configure the fact that we have players that played during the season that weren't eligible to play in the playoffs
Why?
because there were two-way players. So our centers,
y'all did have two
we
two-way
had
players that
two-way
did do good during that
They
time.
did phenomenal. They did phenomenal.
So
and those two players were
thank
very
you.
much instrumental.
And thank you. That you bring it more up because
Yes.
if one of those guys had Bronny's spot, he would be able to play.
Great.
Because
Here's the
Bronny
thing.
was able to play
Here's
with
the
his
thing.
spot.
Here's the
but
thing.
did he?
Here's the thing.
But if one of those two-way guys who was helping you during the time y'all was number one in efficiency,
Right. All throughout the season, we had all the opportunity in the world to be able to release a player and sign those players to deals. It was expected that we were going to sign Trey Jemison to a deal.
He played big.
He played big. He would have been perfect. But what they did instead is that they counted on.
They wasted a roster spot on Bronny.
No, that's not what it is. They wasted a roster.
Was Bronny on the roster during the playoffs?
You do understand that we had an open.
Did Bronny play?
You do understand we did have a roster spot open.
You're right.
We did have a roster spot open.
It's not.
You
Bronny.
know who that roster
You
spot
right.
went to?
Who did it go to?
Alex Len.
No, but you're right.
Yes,
But they
we
never
had our
played
roster
him
spot
though.
open.
But Alex, why
No,
didn't
hold
Alex
on.
Len
You're right.
play?
You're right.
Because
dog. You're
Alex,
right.
no,
You're
because
right.
Alex
It
Len
wasn't.
played and he played so terribly that they just benched him.
Yeah, you're right. It wasn't Bronny's fault because
Why would it be Bronny's fault when we had an open roster
I know.
spot?
Y'all done just
I wouldn't have put him- I wouldn't have put him
one more
on my,
time. Y'all don't have one open roster spot.
Yeah.
According to JJ, y'all have 7 because he
He
can
ain't
only
even get to
play
the 6th
5
man.
players.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
everybody else commit.
He didn't trust his bench, bro.
Vanderbilt, all of them. Nobody's worth it,
He
right?
didn't trust his bench, man.
Who on the bench is going to save us? Tell me.
I don't.
Tell
man,
me.
Look,
Come on.
say
You-
you coach. You
Saved
have
him.
to trust
Now you
your
have to be
bench.
saved.
Tell me.
Now you have to be saved.
Tell me.
So
I would.
Jared Vanderbilt ain't a great defender.
He is, but he's also an offensive liability.
How tall is he?
Wait,
6'8".
I'm not worried
Can
about his fucking
LeBron guard
offense.
all 5?
I
Did
just
you
need
say
to see
that?
what he can do on defense.
You
for
said
me.
LeBron can guard all 5.
Listen.
You did.
If you
said he can guard all 5
can-
positions.
Can you win a game if you can't score?
Yeah.
You got Luka Doncic busting 30 a game.
If you
and
got-
LeBron
You do.
averaging
You do,
27, 28.
But LeBron
Scoring wasn't
LeBron,
the problem.
No, it was. LeBron's efficiency was way off. LeBron and Luka Doncic lost the series.
Scoring was
Okay,
not the
now,
problem.
now, you gonna sit there and say lost series.
Redick lost the series.
Do you know that last game Luka had 9 fucking blow-bys? 9. That's a stat.
Didn't I just say Luka lost the game for us?
No, Luka didn't lose the game for you. JJ Redick lost that series.
How did JJ Redick lose the game if Luka had 9 blow-bys?
So why
Why would you put Luka up top to get 9 blow-bys? Put him on the block.
They didn't. They were switch hunting.
No, they
were switch hunting the
it was
entire
almost,
time.
It was almost, but it was almost like
you didn't see Anthony Davis switch hunting Austin
mean
Reeves
Anthony
and Anthony Edwards.
Yes.
You didn't see Anthony Edwards switch hunting Austin Reeves and switch hunting Luka every single time.
yes, but where did they blow by him at? They switched, but they made sure he was at the top of the key.
Yeah.
You know what?
If you're switch
Stop
hunting
switching.
and just leave him open,
Hey,
No, fight over screens.
Right, exactly.
Like, what the fuck? Play some defense.
You know what?
He's not a defense. He's not a defensive player.
And he started switching until LeBron came.
He's not great.
That switching shit is the LeBron thing.
Hey, Dre, to your point, I did notice that when Gobert was in the fucking middle, and I seen it like 3 or 4 times. When Austin Reeves came down and he blew past somebody,
we ain't even talking about that.
He didn't even go to the cup because Rudy was right there. Instead of like, you know what, I'm gonna pull off for the jumper.
So
that showed
all
me
I'm
when
hearing
you
is
got
like
to
you
be
guys telling me what the players did and blaming JJ for what the players did on the court.
Okay.
No.
So
Okay, go ahead, Jason.
I ain't got
Go
nothing to say.
ahead.
So first of all, it's 100% JJ Redick's fault. If you got men on the bench, that's 6 times 7. That's 42 fouls
Gabe Vincent
that you can use. I don't give a fuck if they score or not. If you need time for your players to get a little bit of rest, you got 42 fucking fouls you got on that bench.
You can hack a Gobert.
You can do something.
Hack a Rudy.
You can't just let them beat you to death. Rudy Gobert. He should never in his life.
None of the
like
games
that.
were blowouts, but except
No,
for
but
the
it
last
looked-
one.
but it didn't
just
look
looked
close.
bad.
Did Rudy Gobert have a double-double that last game?
He had 2 double-doubles in one game.
27 and 24.
No, I understand.
That
He
should never happen.
If we don't have a playable center, then I don't
You
understand.
do. That's what I'm saying. You do.
You
Because
have a
then y'all-
okay. So what happens?
tired of y'all talking about Jackson Hayes.
Let me ask you this. What happens when Jackson Hayes gets in a game and he fouls out in 10 minutes? Then
Okay, he
what?
fucking fouled
And
out.
he fouled out.
Well,
and
listen,
he took Rudy
fouled out.
Gobert
Because
with
he
the
was-
ball.
Hold on.
He was doing
if he
that.
fouled Rudy Gobert
He was doing that.
5 times
He
and putting him
averaged
at the free throw line, that's 5 dunks that he didn't have by his
Yeah.
damn self. And
I
that ain't
understand,
10
but
points.
I understand.
Rudy Gobert is a horrible free throw shooter.
Yeah, but like, why do you want that on the court to begin with? Why would
What
you
do
just
you
throw
mean?
that out there?
That's-
Just throw that out
As
there.
a coach, you have to make adjustments. You don't just lose.
Have you ever
Jackson-
heard of Hack-a-Shack?
I understand. Jackson Hayes started 4 or 5 games.
He catfished us.
and got in foul trouble 4 or 5 games.
All right.
That's what we wanted in the playoffs.
And then we took him out, and he was no longer viable to play.
Well, what I'm saying is, as a coach,
you put him in to get those fouls.
I gotta trust my bench.
Tyson
man.
Chandler used to foul out.
I'm
That's what
coming.
you want.
Hey, look, I'm coming down that bench. But like, you know what?
Go get his ass.
I know you ain't finna sit here and do nothing, but defensively, I need you to do everything you possibly can to knock
What
that
happens when
motherfucker
you
up.
send him out there and he doesn't? You just keep him in anyway?
So
out of
Cole,
spite?
so
Wait,
Cole
so
commit
I gotta
or
figure out
Gabe
something.
Vincent couldn't hit no threes.
What was that?
Cole commit or Gabe
Not
Vincent
Cole
couldn't.
Kmet.
What was that?
What's their rookie name?
He ain't even play much.
That's what I'm saying. Dalton
Connect.
Connect
He
and
ain't even play
Gabe
much.
Vincent
Yeah.
couldn't hit no threes.
Dalton Connect was the worst defensive player on our entire team.
So hold on. So you're going to keep Austin Reeves, which is a horrible defender, LeBron James, a horrible defender, and Luka Doncic, which is a horrible defender, in for the whole half. What it was he was up 10. He thought he had it. He was up 10. And they blew that shit because none one of them can play any defense. They got blown by, and he was out coached.
And he left him in a whole damn half.
Right.
I don't agree with leaving him in the whole half. I don't think I would have done that, but I do agree with not playing Jackson Hayes. He is terrible, bro.
Regardless, what I'm
You're
saying.
not understanding.
He brings no value to the game whatsoever.
Yes,
He better
does.
than
That's-
Luke Longley.
That's 6.
I can have LeBron
He's
foul
better
him
than
then.
Bill
No,
Winnington.
you don't want your LeBron getting in foul trouble.
No,
I understand. I understand you just have him in there just to slow down Rudy
Put him on
Gobert.
the line, no
but
dunks.
the thing is Jackson Hayes fucks up in areas that don't involve the rim, right? He fucks it up in areas like Jackson Hayes led the team in moving screens. He gave up.
So one good practice ain't gonna have him stand stationary on the screen. So somebody's
'cause
just taking time with him.
It's been a problem. It's been a problem for the last 2 years.
Ain't nobody
There's a
took
reason-
time.
there's
Ain't
a-
nobody took the time with him.
in 2 years. It's been his problem. And his whole career has been his problem.
Ain't nobody
There's a-
took the time with
So
him.
stop using
I'm
him for
just saying, like
screens.
the thing is I think where the Lakers fucked up is the fact that they didn't get rid of Alex Len and bring up one of them young boys, one of them bigger centers that could actually bang with the centers, like a real actually big body center. They didn't bring one of those guys up for the playoffs. I think they should have.
So instead of throwing in Jared Vanderbilt, he decided to throw in Maxi Kleber, who hadn't even practiced with the Lakers.
that was that
Shows you that's horrible coaching. Just
horrible
agree
coaching.
with it, man.
I know. I don't agree with it.
That's horrible coaching.
I think
Maxi Kleber didn't even have a jersey.
his inexperience.
he had to get somebody
definitely-
else's jersey to play.
His inexperience
showed up.
definitely showed up. It definitely showed up.
That's all we saying.
It showed up, and it showed up in those areas. I'm not saying that he's ironclad.
It showed up in the worst
I just
times.
think that when it comes to executing the plan, I think that I understood what the plan was, and I'm not saying that if we executed it, we would have won. I think that no matter what, looking at the way that they played the game, I think no matter what, Minnesota would win.
Do you think they got a chance to lose? Do you think he got a chance to lose in the locker room the way that he talks to the players?
No.
Why
I
not?
believe so.
Because I think that you got to understand, Dorian Finney-Smith, Luka Doncic, they've played with JJ, and him and LeBron are close friends.
So that's
two-
even more.
the
That's
two-
even more.
LeBron
than
is known for getting
we
rid of
knew you
coaches,
was,
bro.
we knew you was a bum as a player, so you can't really tell me what to do.
I'm not talking about.
So it's like you're not really gonna listen to him.
I'm not talking about like they're. I'm not talking about like they're just. Oh yeah, I played with him. I know who he is. I'm saying they're boys, and you could talk to your boys.
Not if you're winning, yeah.
No, you can talk to your boys.
Not losing.
Well, I mean, the thing of it is, first off, who cares what LeBron thinks? I don't care. But
What you mean?
Well,
He's the whole Lakers. Luka Doncic just got blew by 9 fucking times.
re-upping.
He was
Luka's
drunk
the-
as
no,
hell.
no. Future, though.
No.
Hey,
re-upping
the
on
future-
Luka.
the future is
Re-upping on
nothing.
Luka. I don't give a fuck what LeBron thinks. LeBron said out of his own damn mouth, I'm 40, he's 26. It don't matter what I think.
Okay, now here's
LeBron said it out of his own
But Luka's
damn
not
mouth.
in shape. That's why JJ threw him under the bus.
Exactly.
Talking about we need more players in championship shape. How would JJ know what championship shape is?
Yeah.
Tell me that.
And then on top of that,
I know what it is not.
when
It's
they
not what
asked
we
him,
had.
when they asked him about losing, it's kind of like, to me, he didn't accept that, like, say, yo, this was on me, but I do talk to my damn coaching staff. I get it. You gotta talk to, but as the head coach,
What he said? He said, "You don't think I talked to my
yeah, but I'm saying, as a head coach, you have that right to overwrite all of them. Like,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
look, I'm hearing your point of view. I'm hearing your point of view.
He
but
made-
this is
he
what
made
I
bad
want to go
decisions.
He
with.
made it seem like it was an assistant coach's decision.
Thank you.
Yeah, but
No, it was his decision.
But we know
And
the
he fucked up.
substitution. It's up to that assistant coach to be like, hey,
fucked up.
he got to get in. We got to
But-
get him in. You know what I'm saying?
But like I said,
He just denied that shit.
There was a lot of situations and a lot of decisions that were made. One thing that about the Lakers offense that I saw when I was watching the game is that they gave up on the plan too early. The one thing that the Lakers did all season is that they would take too long to get into their sets offensively. And then once they would get into their sets, they'd try it for 2 seconds. If it wasn't going, then it's one-on-one ball. It was too much one-on-one. You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of the years where Boston couldn't get over the hump because you had Tatum and Brown
And Kyrie.
playing too much one-on-one.
Yeah.
That's what the Lakers were trying to do, and it just didn't work. They couldn't get their offensive going. They weren't swinging the ball. They weren't moving the ball.
Luka dribbled the air out
yet-
the ball.
But yet
Luka
they still
dribbled the
made it
air
out
out of the
Dribbled the
ball.
air out the ball.
But yet they still made it out of the first round.
No. LeBron
I'll
took.
give you that.
LeBron
Yeah,
took.
yeah,
Yeah, no.
bro.
Yeah, I'm not
What'd he
shitting
say?
on him. I'm not shitting on him. I'm just saying that was the critique. This is what was going on. LeBron, for some reason or another, was just decided to chuck threes whenever he fucking felt
Ain't
like.
no for some reason or another. Every
just
time,
what he does.
No,
It's
every
not
time
great.
LeBron is in the fourth quarter in a losing situation,
He's
he never
chucking
shows
threes.
up.
Right.
He's
He never
chucking
shows
threes.
No,
up.
what fucked
No,
up everything was letting Austin Reeves
Zero
try
in
to
the
run the
fourth, zero in the
offense.
fourth, zero in the fourth, three times.
And
Like,
that's
come
what
on.
I said. I said that LeBron James and Luka Doncic
So,
lost
no.
a series for us.
Letting Austin Reeves
So what
run
about
that
Austin
offense
Reeves?
fucks
But the
everything
thing
up.
is
What
like,
about Reeves? He didn't do nothing.
Yeah.
He averaged
All
what,
he kept doing was-
9.8 points a game?
He averaged
probably
under
averaged-
his average.
yeah,
He probably
bum.
averaged like 9 turnovers every game.
and he admitted. He said, I should have did more for my team." He said it at the end. He said, "I should."
So JJ got all these people in there that's having bad offensive games and they're horrible defenders.
Yeah.
But you don't sub anybody?
I just thought about something. Remember, I asked you if
Give him
LeBron
a
is
break.
having an off game or Luka's having an off game, can Austin Reeves carry you? You said yeah.
I did say yeah, but I didn't know he would bomb like that. And he was solid. He
That's
was
what
solid.
we were telling
No,
you.
he was solid. But no,
That's what we were trying to tell you.
What am I basing that off of though? I'm basing it off of everything that he's done and everything and every situation that he was in with AD and Bron and with Luka and Bron, he showed up. the
No,
entire
but if you
season.
look at all his points come off layups.
and
Where
also-
he's taking them to the
and
basket.
and he stopped.
So-
he stopped doing it.
He couldn't do it because Rudy Gobert was right there.
Yeah.
When you got a center right there.
When you ain't got no other center to bang with him
Here's
to,
a question
to
I
get
gotta
rebounds.
ask you.
Right.
Darvin Ham and JJ, who had the better first year?
Nah, that you can't do that.
No,
Yeah, I
that's a
can.
simple question.
Yeah, I can.
That's a simple question.
I'll say this. I'll say
Yeah,
this.
you can.
I'll say this. With the AD LeBron roster, JJ did better. JJ did better. With the same roster that Darvin Ham had, JJ coached a better team. And we were ranked higher all year than we ever were with Darvin Ham. When they traded away our all-star center and did not get a center back, and we no longer
You got the top 3 player in the NBA
check this
back.
out. Check this out. Who had the better first year?
I think JJ did, regardless of where they landed.
They just got gentlemen swept.
They weren't in the play-in. They weren't in the play-in. They had a better season. It doesn't matter. They
were 2 games from the play-in.
Yeah, wait. Did
It
Darvin
really don't
Ham,
matter. You 2 games from the play-in.
Did Darvin Ham lose in the first round his first year?
He lost in the first round his second 2 years.
He only had 2 years.
No, he had 3. Western Conference Finals, lost to Denver.
Western Conference Finals lost to Denver, then he
So I thought he went to the Western Conference Finals his first year.
Yeah, he only had 2 years.
Yeah, I think he might. I don't know. I might be wrong.
So that means he had the better year.
I don't think
That
so.
1 year.
No.
Man, if I lead my damn team to the Western Conference Finals,
It's
How
the
many?
method.
Look, Darvin Ham took the Lakers over. They won 30-some games and was out of the playoffs the year before.
And not on top
and
of
he
this.
took him to the Western Conference Finals.
I won't say Darvin Ham had a better year.
Do
no.
you
So
know?
you go from 12th to the Western Conference Finals.
The thing is like it's a totally different team. If you're judging
Darvin Ham had moving pieces to the puzzle too,
he did, but the team got exceptionally better.
and they got worse when they got Russell Westbrook.
No. We got rid of Russell Westbrook on his watch, and then we got so much better.
They got worse when they got him.
No, and Russell Westbrook wasn't part of that Western Conference team.
What's y'all playoff record?
I know.
in
The
the
next year when they got him, they got worse.
Right.
So it made them look bad.
And if I remember correctly, the consensus amongst us was we're gonna see what happens next year. It wasn't about this year.
No, I always said
No, listen.
I did say I was gonna judge him to see what he do this year and next year.
I said he
No,
needed to
you
make
said-
it to the Western
I'll
Conference
play it.
Finals.
You said, let's wait
I
till
always said that.
No, and he didn't, and I didn't think he would. I didn't think they would.
He got gentlemen swept.
This man said, no, they're going to go to the
First
finals.
round.
But let's,
No,
but
they're not.
let's, but let's.
I never said that they were gonna win it all.
That's enough on JJ. What about LeBron bum ass with another gentleman sweep?
Right. Do you know y'all
Stop,
record?
because Jordan
Wait.
got swept twice. Jordan got swept twice in the first round.
But check
That
this
way
out.
we- Mike was still young.
How many league had LeBron?
LeBron's never been swept in the first round.
How many years
Mike
have
was still
LeBron been
young.
in the NBA?
Okay, so you're
Just
so you're
answer that question for me.
no.
How many years have he been in the NBA?
You're saying a 40. Look,
Please just answer that question. How many years?
20 years. That means he's
22,
old.
right?
He's 22. He's old.
Okay, 22 years.
Yeah.
How many times have he won?
Won what?
The finals.
One.
Like 4.
So, in anybody's job, if you've been there 22 years and you only got to the mountaintop 4 times, how are you the best at anything?
Something wrong with that. When you went to the finals,
got
what,
22 years.
10 years in a row.
So
Something wrong.
we can say the same thing about Duncan. We can say the same thing
But
about.
he's not the best.
We can say the same thing about Kobe.
He's not the best.
He's the best either.
Nah, I'm not saying about Jordan.
You can't say that about Jordan.
Because he went like 11 times.
I don't mean nothing. Jim Kelly went to the Super Bowl 4 years ago.
Right, he wins 11 times. He showed up to the prom.
The thing
He
is,
showed
like,
up to the prom, but still didn't get no pussy.
Jordan ain't beating them the Golden State Warriors teams.
Oh, we're not doing that. We're not doing
hold
that.
up. Hey,
I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave it.
No,
We're not
sir,
doing
I got
that.
2 things for you.
not
What?
Do you know within the last, I think, 2 years that the Lakers are fucking 2-14 in the playoffs? 2-14.
Under LeBron James.
No. In the last, I think it was 3 in the last 5 seasons. 4
They
or 5
2-14,
seasons,
bro.
They're like 2-12.
And that's
That's
LeBron
bad.
James' record.
Yes.
And then
How
let's
is
think
that
about,
the GOAT of
Yeah.
anything?
Let's think about
If
me and Dre was talking about this. All the Hall of Famers that Jordan played with, but the motherfucking Hall of Famers that
Did Jordan get to the playoffs in a Wizards jersey?
man, dude, come on, really? Hey, look, check this out. Hey,
he
look
won
at
41 games would get you to the playoffs.
Look at LeBron's Hall of Fame.
2025.
Did Jordan get to the first round?
Let's look at LeBron.
Did he get to the first round?
I guarantee you.
Did he?
Look.
Hey, did he?
Hey,
Can you look it up?
No, see, thing is, you don't want to hear this. Hall of Famers. He
Right.
had motherfucking Kyrie, Kevin Love. I'm just talking about Hall of Famers. Was it
80,
80?
You can't-
Baby.
Bosh, Wade.
Carmelo
Wade,
Anthony.
You
Ray
can't-
Allen.
You can't say that when
Ray
you
Allen.
can't say that when
Jordan didn't play with that many damn Hall of Famers, and look what the fuck he did.
He only played with one. Well,
Yeah,
two.
he couldn't get his team to the playoffs in the East.
Who couldn't get that team to the playoffs?
In the East, he couldn't get the Wizards to the playoffs in the East.
So you talking about when Jordan came
close.
back with one knee, playing all 82 games, and it went to the last game of the it went to the last game of the season.
So LeBron
for them to be eliminated.
LeBron in year 22, which Jordan couldn't reach because he was old.
Couldn't reach.
Jordan could have reached that.
Why
But
would
Jordan
you reach
retired.
That's what I'm saying. Why would you reach? Why would you even want to reach? Pay 20 more years when Steph Curry beating your ass.
And think about this. Jordan said
Steph Curry been beating on his ass for the last 10 years. So
because Jordan's a quitter, just because Jordan's a quitter.
Jordan didn't quit. Hey, we all watched. We all watched The Last Dance, and hell, we lived through it. Jordan said, "I would never play for another damn coach if it's not Phil Jackson." That's the reason why he left.
Fine, that's cool, but that's not LeBron James. His legacy is different. He decided to further his career and play longer than anyone else.
How many times have LeBron James
and he still went to the playoffs?
How many times
Jordan went to the playoffs?
He got a coach fired when he ain't like the damn coach.
Plenty of times.
I got this. I got one for you. Besides DeMar DeRozan, Kyle Lowry, Roy Hibbert, Derrick Rose 1 year, and Luol Deng. Them the only people LeBron has ever been to.
True.
What do you mean, in the playoffs?
Yes.
In the East?
In the East?
Or I think we say East.
In the East. In the East. Them the only people he's ever been through to get to the finals.
Yeah.
Those teams weren't good?
Hell no.
Are you on?
No.
So you're saying I haven't done the
research. None of those teams on 2K as being one of the great teams.
I haven't. No. I haven't done the research on the teams that he went through earlier in his.
There's no superstars that's saying I would have been a man if LeBron James would have let me get one ring. He got a couple all-stars who he stopped from getting rings, but no superstars.
Right. That first year he went to the finals, he had to go to fucking Detroit. He got there, but I don't know how
he got swept.
Yeah. And you got to remember. And you got to remember his.
Got swept.
Huh? No, he never got swept in the first round.
When he went through Detroit. And you said he never been swept. He been swept in the finals twice.
No, in the first round.
He been swept in the finals twice.
No, I'm saying he never got swept in the first round. Jordan got swept twice in the first round.
Jordan didn't have no help.
Jordan ain't never been to 7 games.
LeBron went to the finals with fucking Jordan Clarkson and Larry Nance.
We said fucking first round. Jordan never had no help. In his first 2 years, he didn't have no help.
They was all doing cocaine.
Why? How can we talk about help now when we don't have a center now? And now it's like, oh, you got LeBron James.
Have a center. You got Luka Doncic.
You said LeBron.
Luka, but you
said LeBron could play all 5 positions.
So
how come he couldn't stop Rudy Gobert?
Jackson Hayes is better than Luke Longley.
4 years old, man.
You had Anthony
Jackson
Davis.
Hayes.
Hey, I'm okay saying right now LeBron's not good enough. I'm okay saying right now LeBron's not a top 10 player in the league. I'm okay saying that he's not.
You done dropped him all the way down to the top 10.
Well, let me ask you this question.
Wishy-washy as hell.
Are you ready?
I'm looking at the evidence. He's just not there.
Are you ready for any other real Laker fans out there? Are you ready for LeBron James to give y'all damn team back instead of holding y'all hostage?
No, he is. You're seeing it right now. You just saw what you just saw was LeBron James say, "Luka, here's the keys." And Luka Doncic controlled all of those games. In the games that he was sick, his flu game, we gave him the ball first. We fed Luka.
That's the only way Luka know how to play.
Here's the thing. If you listen to what LeBron said in his exit in his last interview, he said, "Well, we had AD and me and Austin. We would run the offense through AD. We made an in-season trade, and then we had to relearn it, and now we're feeding everything through Luka, who's a different player."
And he also said, "I ain't gonna say nothing because the last time my dude AD said something, they got him out of here."
Did you see his face when he said it though? Or did you just listen to it?
He making excuses
he was joking.
Everything.
He was clearly joking.
Man. He was making excuses on
laughing.
everything.
He was laughing and joking. No one's upset about that.
Always some truth in the joke.
No. Because it's some truth to it. But I'll give you this because Rob Pelinka went right behind him and he said, "I think LeBron's going to have high expectations for the roster, and we're going to do everything we can to meet those." That's what Rob Pelinka said.
It's time for LeBron to retire, bro. Wrap it up, bro.
Is.
They're doing everything in their power to please a player.
I said that. Didn't I say that?
No.
Yeah, I said that. I said I don't care if LeBron James ever plays another game in the Lakers jersey.
Said that.
I said that.
Okay. He's on the JJ Luka bandwagon.
I am. And the thing is like here we'll go through the other topics. So what else was there?
We're gonna get back to it.
No, yeah. You said did JJ Redick let the Lakers down? I think he did. I think it's pretty obvious. Who's to blame for the gentleman's sweep? James Doncic, Reeves, or Redick? I think I think Luka shouldn't have played that game, that flu game he played.
Flu game. That nigga was drunk.
Right. Whatever it was.
Before they said he had the flu, I was like, man, he drunk. I could tell.
Whatever it
I know
was,
a drunk
whatever
guy.
it was, that threw the game. That was game 3. That threw the game. He shouldn't have played. He shouldn't have played. He shouldn't have, because LeBron had it. LeBron was running the offense and LeBron was doing good. And we had control of the majority of that game.
Is game 3 where he played them the whole entire game? Or was it 4?
It was 4.
If he was drunk, JJ should have did what who was it? Doc Rivers did to Lou Williams. Kept his ass in there, said sweat that shit out.
And then also it was one more. I to get to your Bronny point, bro. Like I don't think that's a fair assessment of what was going on when Bronny got that contract. Just real quick.
Because even the two-way players that you said, those two-way players, they could have helped the Lakers right now.
I know, but that was
Bronny was sitting on the bench with one of their contracts.
It wasn't one of their contracts because
could have been.
We had the opportunity to get rid of Alex Len, and they didn't do it.
Okay, I'm talking about
you could have got rid of a bunch of players and signed them to contracts. We thought we were going to get 2 out of the 3.
Alex
We only got
Len
1.
could have played.
Alex
He could have played too.
He could have played.
He could have very well played.
They
But
could have got minutes out of Lynn and Hayes, and they
could have played.
They had a different
Yeah,
outcome.
But I
Gobert has a
understand that
different
you guys
game.
watch
Right.
all the teams,
Right.
but I watch the majority of all the Lakers games.
Right.
And in those games, when the games are over and you got James Worthy and whoever it is talking about the games and breaking down the games at the end, even out of their mouths, James Worthy, Derek Fisher, out of their mouths, Alex Len was terrible and unplayable. Jackson Hayes was terrible down the stretch of the season. Those other young players.
But what did they say about Maxi Kleber?
No,
That's what I'm saying. If Kleber
was-
can get in,
No, that was
you can throw Jackson Hayes in there.
that was a
he
bad
was your
decision.
starting center during
That
the
was a-
time you
that
were
was a
number
bad-
1 in the defensive efficiency.
That was a
So
bad
he
decision
did
from
something
JJ.
right?
That was a bad decision from JJ when he no longer wanted to play Jackson
saying.
and he just wanted a big body.
As a
out there.
coach, you have to trust your bench, bro. You gotta trust them.
And you got to give your starters a break.
Thank you.
You just gotta, you gotta find,
I agree with
you gotta
that. I
find
just
small
don't.
pockets where
I
you
agree
can
with
get
that.
people in.
I agree with
Yeah.
that, but I don't think you got to trust your bench, but you can't trust Jackson Hayes.
Even if it's 1 minute.
You
You can
He's an
trust. You got
NBA
other.
player.
You got other forwards.
I'm
There are
trusting him.
other forwards that are on. Yeah, that's fine. You can
John
trust.
Sally got
listen.
in with the Bulls.
You know what I'm saying? You got to break the momentum.
Even a 2-minute
James
break.
Edwards got in with the Chicago Bulls.
One thing I learned along the way.
Dyson
I was watching-
Daly.
One thing I learned along the way. I was watching DMX. And
Jason
DMX
Caffey
said,
got some run.
DMX said something that really stuck with me. He was like, you got to trust people to be who they are. If it's a snake, you got to trust the snake to be a snake. And don't get mad if the snake bites you. If it's a snake, it's doing what it's supposed to do. Yeah. Jackson Hayes is a terrible player who averages a foul a minute. If I'm playing the game,
I wish I had Jackson Hayes stats within that 9 to 10 weeks where y'all was number 1 defensive.
he wasn't playing. Trey Jemison and them other dudes were start. Not all those games. No, here we can pull up the
ones I was saying. He was setting good screens. He was running to the rim. Defense, he wasn't really that good.
Swill, so you have to understand.
I understand the structure of the game. You want that center out there to be able to get those fouls and do all those things.
For one, you can break momentums.
Yeah,
you can break continuity. You can break the monotony, even if it's for a minute or 2. Slow the game down by fouling him on the rebounds. Hold him. Don't let him get offensive rebounds. Do what you got to do to slow him down. You can't let Gobert beat you. You gotta let Anthony Edwards beat you.
Yeah.
You cannot let Gobert.
But the thing is, if I'm gonna let that happen, then I want that to come from Jared Vanderbilt instead of Jackson Hayes.
No,
Jared Vanderbilt's
defensively,
smaller.
but he didn't even do that.
No, he didn't show up.
Dude, Gobert's 7'1", Jackson Hayes
Because
is 7
here's
foot.
the thing, and here's the thing that we're missing, right? When we did have the number 1 defensive efficiency in the league, those players we were playing small ball. We were playing small ball against
And
all
you
the
packed
bigs,
the paint.
and we packed the paint. And you know what JJ
Catfish.
did for some reason, because what we
Perch.
did because we wanted to just like you said, because we wanted to contain Anthony Edwards, we didn't pack the paint. We trusted that Anthony. We needed to guard it because he's a bad man.
But ain't that a bad decision as a coach?
It was a bad decision.
That's all I'm saying.
Well,
that's a bad coaching decision.
In retrospect, it was a bad decision, but the game plan looked solid.
Because think about this.
Because
since you watch those games,
it's a game plan that worked up until then. That's the only time this season it didn't work.
Bluegill.
But think about this though. We watch those games and we know what Anthony Edwards is doing nowadays.
Right.
He's shooting 10 to 11 threes a game.
Yeah, so they
hold
double
on.
him.
So why not?
What are you gonna say? Some tilapia next?
Let's put Finney Smith in front of him.
Right.
Just let him shoot his threes.
Well, Finney Smith is busy guarding the bigger guys.
But why?
Because you got Julius Randle.
But I'm just talking about as a strategy.
No, yeah.
Since we know Anthony Edwards is at the point right now where he just want to shoot the threes.
He just want to shoot the threes.
If you would have put Vanderbilt or Finney Smith on him, that's all he was going to do.
So what happens?
Is shoot threes.
So what happens when and mind you, I understand the defense failed them because
now
they didn't
you
do
can
this
play
right.
small ball with everybody else.
You can
now if they throw it to Rudy
Pufferfish,
Gobert, you can steal the pass.
You can, but you can't do that. But if they're switch hunting every single time,
you don't have to switch.
they keep that. You just gonna leave them open?
Sometimes you have
You
to
have to
No,
switch. You have
so
to
what
switch.
they do in the NBA before LeBron came and they didn't switch? They fought over screens or went under.
Yeah, they did.
They fought over screens, went under, and then they left that guy right. This is your guy. No. It's fine. Look. If I'm fighting over or under the screen, how much space am I giving the guy? And for him to shoot the three.
Question is, do you know how to fight over a screen?
The-
ball?
That's the
Your
thing. No, we don't
your
have.
big-
we
your
didn't
big
have
gonna
the
come
person.
hedge.
We don't have that. We didn't have the.
Your
the
big
good-
gonna come hedge, but it's gonna force them to come out.
Luka
so that gives
Doncic
you
is
time
not
to
a
get
good
over
enough
there.
defensive player to fight over and under screens. That's not what you have.
'Cause
him
he
for.
lazy.
Yeah, sure, fine.
That's the point. So
Yeah,
why have
sure,
him up
fine.
top?
If he's in the game and they draw his player out, he's got to follow him, right?
No.
Played his own.
No, because
They switched to his zone,
and
they picked
that's
us
what I'm
apart.
saying. In actuality,
We
they
went to a
start
zone, they
playing a
picked us
zone.
apart.
Yep, and they
They
picked them
picked it-
apart.
picked us apart.
So even in that zone, they still had Luke up top.
Put Luka on the wing.
Right.
I
You
mean,
see what I'm saying?
but in he's not a good enough defensive player to even be in the zone. He's worse.
All I'm hearing is
He's worse.
excuses.
That's
No,
all
I'm
right.
not. I'm not giving you excuses. I'm saying that Luka
So
Doncic sucks at defense.
Where can you hide
I'm
your?
saying
where
LeBron
can
James
you-
sucks at defense.
where
I'm saying
can you-
Austin Reeves sucks at defense.
And those are the guys who play the whole half.
yeah, it was
So
bad.
how can
it was
you
a
win?
bad decision.
How can you win?
It was a bad decision.
At the end of the day,
I do
I
think that if we had Mark Williams, it would be a little bit different. But we didn't, and it is what it is. And when that trade fell through, when the trade went through, I was like, oh fuck, we're good. We're good. And I said it on here, we're good. And then when it fell through, I said, we are fucked. And then we started winning.
And then you was like, we didn't need Mark.
it was a lot of false hope. It was a lot of false hope, and I was very wrong. I was very wrong. Very, very wrong.
Just going back
There's
to
a lot
the
of false hope, and I was
thing
very wrong.
last for a minute.
Right.
There's no way in the world I know that I got to put a roster together for the playoffs. I'm not putting fucking Bronny James on that roster. If you got to be able to the point
You
where a
can't
player
cut
can
him.
help.
You can't cut him.
You ain't cutting them. You just ain't putting them on a roster for the playoffs.
That's not how the
it's
NBA
different.
works.
It used to be a playoff roster. You had
Thank
15
you.
people on your team. You choose 12 for the playoffs.
Thank you.
That's how it used to
That's
work.
how
I don't
it
know how it
doesn't work
no
like
more.
that anymore.
Okay.
No, the way that it works now is that the players that you have are the players that you go in, and you can't take all of your two-way players with you. So
I'd have sent his ass to the damn G League.
But they
and
don't
I'd
have.
bring him.
But you don't
not-
have to sign people to two-way contracts. You can have 15 NBA contracts on your team.
No, we do have 15 NBA contracts.
So
on our team.
those you could have chose 12 people out of those, and you would have been good.
They
And-
chose. I'm saying they chose their.
But they
their
chose
12.
Bronny as
and
one.
they didn't choose the players that helped them along the way, like Traore and Jemison.
So that,
Right.
basically,
Who do you
that's what I'm
think's the
saying.
who do you think's the direct person at fault for the roster that was chose for the playoffs?
Rob Pelinka.
I think it was JJ.
I think
Redick.
it was LeBron.
And
And
also
LeBron
and
and
also
JJ.
and also
I think it was collective.
Also,
bro.
I understand that. I think when we got Luka, Rob Pelinka said that we're not in the business of trying to win this season. We're trying to look towards the future because we understand what
So they
we're
over- so they overachieved.
Everybody
We
said,
overachieved,
Everybody said that before JJ Catfishes and y'all came in as the third seed. When they landed at the third seed, everybody was like, "Ooh, Lakers in 5."
Everybody was, but you have to remember, I was not on that team.
Ant-Man,
I was not on that
Batman,
team.
You know how many times you
Snowman,
said
Lakers in 5. Like,
You know
get
what?
out of here, man.
I would say it jokingly, but I was
No.
never.
You know
what?
I came on the podcast and told you guys we weren't going to win.
You know what? I can't give you a little bit of credit.
I told you we weren't gonna win.
I'm gonna give you a little small flower because you said. Honestly, you did say you didn't want that third seed because you knew it was a bad spot.
It was a bad
because you
spot.
knew y'all was gonna play fucking like
Yeah.
Minnesota.
I did not want to play them.
I think you wanted
I
like
don't
the
think
fourth or
there's
the
a good
fifth
spot
spot.
in the
I wanted-
West for y'all.
Right.
I don't think there's a good spot in the West for y'all at all.
Golden State
y'all wouldn't
would've
be
been
neither
okay.
one of these teams.
I think Golden State would have been okay.
Because
I think
they
we
play
matched
small
up
ball.
really great with the Clippers.
But we see the Clippers would have smoked y'all.
We did pretty good on Jokic during the season. We had.
What the fuck is going on?
the best player in the world is on there.
It's crazy, right?
Here's the thing. The Lakers had the tiebreaker on every team But and that shows that they had something that consistently worked. The thing is like when you get into you said no. The thing what you said is when you give teams time to scheme against you, it's a whole different ballgame.
It's all about the coaching.
And a lot of player and a lot of times you guys ask me what are they going to do in the playoffs? And what did I say? I said it depends on the matchup. I said it over and over again.
I agree with you.
I said it over and over again. I said it depends on the matchup. And a matchup with Rudy Gobert and then Julius Randle, who historically is terrible in the playoffs, just decides to go off. There's nothing you could do, man.
But she was like, nobody wants to see Dorian Finney-Smith and Jordan.
I didn't say those names. I said
you
no.
Said you said DFS.
I said
DFS and Vandenberg. Nobody wants to see them. We're going to the finals.
Randle didn't decide to go off. Randle is a naturally physical player, Paul.
Yeah, we had no physicality.
And he just it was taking candy from a baby.
There's no physicality.
LeBron was scared of him.
And you look at the construction, like look at Denver and their team. You know, they're not the Timberwolves, but the Timberwolves have 8 starters.
Timberwolves do have a good team.
They have a really good team, and honestly, I hope they win it all. I really do. I'm okay losing to them. I'm not the person who's sad right now. I was happy when LeBron got to go home.
I feel sorry for the Warriors.
I was happy when it was over.
Or whoever played them next. Whoever played the Timberwolves
the
next.
Rockets or the Warriors. But yeah, that's going to be hard, bro.
Because the thing is, and they got, what's his face?
McDaniels?
No, not McDaniels. With the dreads. With the braids.
Oh, Naz Reid.
Oh my God,
Naz Reid.
But
he didn't do nothing. He didn't even play the fourth.
He had one.
Yeah,
good game.
No. Don't do that.
Naz Reid, the last game, he didn't play the fourth.
Maybe not the last game, but the other 4 games.
He had good games.
Yeah, he was like 6 for 6 for threes
Naz Reid
in like 2 games.
And
he is if you go back and you look at his stats, Naz Reid plays out of his mind versus the Lakers specifically.
Yeah.
Specifically, I don't
Why
know what it
He
is.
ain't number 6'9".
Him
He's
and
the same size as LeBron. Why is that?
Him and Jaden McDaniels played very good against the Lakers. Jaden McDaniels it's personal because the Lakers drafted him and traded him. But for Naz Reid, he plays out of his fucking mind. This whole entire thing.
Not making a shot. He's not playing a good game.
No, and he made all shots every game.
He's a good shooter, but that's all he does.
Yeah, he's streaky. That's why he's a good bench player.
But I really do hope that the Timberwolves win. It was a terrible matchup for us. I think we probably would have made it out of first round if we had a couple different teams that we would have played. But I mean, there's 8 teams in the playoffs. You could say that for anybody.
I don't think that Minnesota team wouldn't be any other team in the Western Conference playoffs right now.
Oh no. They about to do their thing.
And I don't think that makes the Lakers the worst in the playoffs. I just think the Lakers just didn't really have their shit together the way that they thought it would.
Because Anthony Edwards
Let's
didn't
say those
show up
flowers.
that much.
Let's say those flowers you was talking about.
Flowers for who?
You said you was giving out some flowers.
Oh yeah, no, I told you were right when you were talking about how you scheme in the playoffs, and I didn't tell you that you were wrong at the time. I just said I didn't know.
Yeah, he hit you with some stuff. He hit you with some stuff.
and the thing of it is, I just don't think that me personally, I don't think that the blame should just rest on JJ because the Lakers clearly I'm sitting here watching all the sportscasters and everybody say the same thing. They gave up, bro.
Yeah. Wait.
They gave up.
That's on the coach.
Jay, did you say that?
All that is on the coach.
Any sport, any team.
That's on the coach.
If a team give up, that's the coach. They
Didn't
blame
y'all
the coach.
both say that
If that's
JJ
what
wasn't no good coach, right? They both said JJ wasn't no good coach.
I think we're gonna be fine. I honestly do. But and the thing of it is, no. The thing of it is like
if he lasts,
anytime the Lakers have made an in-season trade for a superstar, they never won a chip. It just doesn't happen. And they didn't do it the year they got Pau Gasol. So they didn't do it.
I'm just waiting for JJ and LeBron to really bump heads on something, and after that, his ass gonna be gone.
I don't think it's gonna happen because of the relationship that they have. Because they had a JJ and LeBron have a LeBron Wade relationship.
Still a coach.
Who validating JJ?
What do you mean?
Who validating JJ? So why is JJ considered to be this great basketball savant? When he became Hubie Brown.
That's what the front office.
So just because LeBron James did a podcast with JJ, what it's called, Mind the Game or something like that, now JJ's a savant.
Well, I mean,
so now Steve Nash, he doing it with Steve Nash. Now Steve Nash about to be a savant.
No. I understand. No, I understand that they. I understand they got a gentleman sweep in the first round, but they still were number 3 seed, and he still coached.
2 games from being number 10. Don't keep saying number 3 like they wasn't 2 games from being number 10.
But it doesn't matter. That's where they landed, and they had to work to get there. There are other teams who were 2 games away from the number 3 seed.
But that's not saying like, oh, we did a great accomplishment. That's 2 games.
It is a great accomplishment because it says that the competition was that tight. The Western Conference competition is tighter than it's ever been in the last 20 years.
So since you want to talk about the 3 seed, Minnesota was the
6 seed.
6?
Yeah.
And they got their ass whooped.
Yeah.
A gentleman's sweep by a 6 seed.
100%.
When, has that even ever happened in the NBA?
Yes, it's happened.
I think
yes.
it
Yeah, it happens all the
It
time.
happened to the Lakers before.
I just still find it funny that y'all make JJ Redick look like he's this defensive guru when his ass barely played in fucking damn defense when he was in the league. He was just known as a fucking 3-point shooter. He wasn't known for fucking defense at all.
He never won a championship. Talking about somebody's in championship shape. What do you know about championship shape?
At all.
How many people was Darvin Ham locking up?
He would be. He'd ball. He'd lock up JJ.
JJ Redick had a better career than Darvin Ham.
He did.
So
I can see that.
What are you saying
though? Like,
what are you saying?
That's what I'm saying. Every time we
How
talk
many
about
games-
JJ, why you got to bring up Darvin Ham? He already did his thing. He got them to the Western Conference Finals.
Who's your coach?
Joe Mazzulla.
How many championships has he played in?
Joe Mazzulla.
Exactly. All right, cool.
He's already got a ring though.
We ain't talking about.
I'm talking.
Did Joe Mazzulla just talking?
He's talking
Come out
about when
there.
he was-
I'm
and
talking about when he played.
Did
was
Joe
in the
Mazzulla just lose and then blame it on his team? Talking about his team's not in championship shape. Did Joe Mazzulla just do that?
The team blamed the team.
No. JJ Redick just lost, had the worst scheme that anybody can even remember, and he went and blamed the team. And he said nobody was in shape.
Why can't the players say yeah, it's on us? We fucked up. The coaches said exactly what to do and we didn't do it.
So why can't JJ say it's on me?
You do understand that's been the story all season. I understand y'all don't watch Lakers ball like I watch Lakers ball, but that's been the story all season.
The Lakers play nationally. Half their games is on national TV.
After the games they lose, and when they're in the presser, fucking LeBron James, when they're sitting at LeBron James' locker, he's like, the coaches said what to do, we didn't do it, and we lost. They said it over and over again.
hey, I am. It's not about watching damn.
First of all,
So
they're not going to throw the coach on.
So if that's the case, then he lost the locker room.
They're not going to throw the coach under the bus when AD came out and said.
So if that's the case,
most of the time when we go out there, we don't even know what we're supposed to be doing.
So if that's the case, then he lost the locker room. Then, right?
He's
No.
an idiot.
So how did he? If the players ain't doing what the coach is saying, and he's playing them and ain't playing nobody else,
That's the problem.
Losing the locker room.
that's lost the locker room.
Losing the locker room takes a lot more time than one playoff series.
Who was the coach when
No,
AD
it
said
don't.
that?
Losing in
Ham.
the locker room can happen in one timeout.
That's why he got fired, because they said that he couldn't control the locker room.
Losing the locker room can happen in one timeout, like JJ did when he went and snapped on them grown ass men. Grown ass men, he talked to them like they was kids.
Losing the locker room,
you can lose the locker room like that.
You very well could if Luka Doncic is not your star player and LeBron James is not your star player.
But you just said he went in the press conference and said the coach told us to do this. They did another thing.
Yeah, no, they didn't do what they didn't execute the plan. There's plenty of times when you go out there and you don't execute the plan.
And what do you do? And what do you do? You get benched for that, right?
You just sit here and saying being star players. Didn't Adrian Griffin lose the fucking locker room when he had Giannis and other 2-star players? Yeah,
he was out of there in
did.
10 days.
He was gone.
No, I'm saying if he had the
He got
locker room,
backdoored.
if he had the locker room the entire
No
season,
homo, but yeah,
if he had the locker room the entire season and halfway through the playoffs, and then for some reason they can't get it together at the end because they schematically just wasn't working.
When adversity strike, he broke down. It was on camera.
Listen, I'm not gonna ever
When
say that
adversity strike, he broke down.
No, he did.
You don't come to grown men like that. You can't even come to kids like that in 2025.
No.
I'm just letting you know as a coach.
I understand.
You can't do
but there's
that
no way
as a
JJ's
coach anymore.
There's no way JJ's going to lose the locker room.
Those YNs ain't going for that.
We don't have those on our team. Sorry.
It's still possible.
That's why nobody played for him. That's why nobody played for him.
You don't lose the locker room when you got JJ, Rob Pelinka, and Luka Doncic going to dinner.
Because that's the Lakers.
That's
If
just
any
one
other
person.
day,
That's one person. What are you talking about?
That's the leader of the team. The whole team.
The laziest person on the team, and everybody on the team don't even like him.
We're in the off. No,
they don't even like him.
Hey, look,
They don't
I'm
like
ending
him.
him on my end. Hey, I
They
don't
don't
mean
like
I
Luka.
watch Laker
We're
basketball
talking about
like
things that.
that.
We don't know.
Listen,
We do know.
I don't watch Laker
He
basketball
didn't
like
lose
that.
the locker room. I'm telling you.
I
he
watch
didn't.
basketball,
It-
and by
the
watching
body-
basketball, seeing that he fucked up.
Body language shows you if he has lost the locker room. If you look at the huddles that he had, where he still had players engaged in the huddle at the end of every game, where when Darvin Ham was in the LeBron wasn't even in the fucking huddle.
But let me show you. I'm gonna give you.
LeBron
I'm
would
gonna
say,
give you
"Yeah,
a couple.
no, fuck that. We doing this."
I'm gonna give you a couple examples
we do got
that
a whole,
shows you.
We do got a whole shoulder.
I'm gonna give you a
Alright,
couple
we're gonna-
examples real quick to show you how he lost the locker room. When you decide you can't play anybody but just 5 people, that means you don't have any relationship or trust with anybody else
On the bench.
Because now they're saying the
Fuck him.
bench players ain't gonna trust you.
Yeah, they like.
You know what I'm
that,
saying?
yeah,
They like fuck him. That's one reason. When
That's the reason
LeBron
why he
hold on,
could,
no,
could,
I'm showing you
could,
reasons.
could.
LeBron goes into the press conference and says, "Coach told us to do one thing, we're doing another thing." That's 2 reasons. And the fact that after they lost, the coach goes in there and throws the team under the bus, talking about they not in shape. Those 3 reasons right there that
How you
points
lose the
to
locker room.
he lost the locker room.
He could lose locker room
And
that
they
way,
got
but
gentlemen
he
swept.
didn't. They were gonna lose anyway.
How? They was up games. They were up in every
y'all in the
game.
offseason,
They were
man.
gonna lose.
They
man.
were
couldn't
up in
close
every
games,
game. How
man.
were they gonna lose? They was up in every game.
They couldn't
just
close
better make sure
games.
they working
But
on
I think,
it now.
like I said, next season, I'm not even worried about this season. I
If
really
he's
don't
there.
care. Next season, who? JJ?
If he's there.
They just came out today and said that we're sticking with JJ.
Okay.
Yeah,
Why'd you have to say it?
because
he
the
damn near
media
'cause-
because the media was coming for his job because he got bounced out of the first round. The media
Is that
was
the
coming
only
for-
reason why?
Yes, it is. They have all the confidence
That's
in
the
the
only
world.
reason why.
Well,
They're not getting rid of JJ Redick. Believe
Why
me.
would the media be coming for his job if they could see everything that you can
Because
see?
he made mistakes, man. He made some big mistakes.
That's all we saying,
That's
man.
all we
No,
saying.
I'm saying, but I'm not saying. I'm saying
All
everybody
this is all we
did.
saying
That's all
is
we
I'm saying
saying.
everybody
fault.
did.
That's all we saying.
I'm saying everybody did, but I place blame after watching the game.
all we saying.
After watching the game, I place blame on LeBron James, and Luka Doncic. I don't think Luka should have played that third game. I think that LeBron should have.
Okay, who tell Luka don't play?
The coach.
Good luck trying to tell Luka Doncic not to play.
You the coach. You the coach. If he say you don't play, you don't fucking play.
You
mean-
take your drunk ass in the back.
I don't know. Anyway,
Come on,
All
man.
right, man. Let's go to the
all right,
rest of the
all
show,
right,
bro.
all
right. JJ
we'll move on.
was
We'll move on. After all of this, how do you guys view Nico Harrison?
I think he did the right thing, man, because
I still don't think the city behind him.
the city ain't behind him.
City
I
ain't
can
behind
see
him,
that.
man. He did a
100.
good job.
But he did the right thing
At
because
least for the foreseeable.
it showed
They
that
still
Luka
love Luka. They want
Yeah.
him more than Anthony Davis.
right, but it showed he ain't in fucking shape though.
What happens when Anthony Davis doesn't play another game in a Mavs jersey? Did he still make the right decision?
No, he didn't
He's
make the
gonna
right
play.
decision.
He's
I
He's
think
not going to sell
gonna-
out that
Why wouldn't-
stadium like he was selling
Why
out with
wouldn't
Luka.
Anthony Davis play another
He's
game?
gonna play, but then get hurt. Watch.
So y'all don't think with Anthony Davis and Kyrie, the Dallas couldn't have beat the Lakers
I believe so.
No.
they could have.
Well, the
with
thing is,
no bigs? You think the Dallas?
No,
you think,
no, they got-
Anthony
no,
Davis
no.
what he did what Gobert did. Then. If he played the whole series.
Right.
what I'm saying is that he probably won't be available.
Who?
He might get injured.
The thing is like with the Lakers,
Davis
man,
ain't-
it's like every time that he went down, we were bracing ourselves.
But
We're not-
but
at least we don't
Nico-
have to worry about
but-
that with
but
Luka.
Think about this though.
You trade 33 for 26 every single time.
But you gave up $240 million. So Nico Harris was about to have to give
Money-wise, it was
$300
smart.
million.
Money wise, it was
So
smart.
you're gonna give $300 million, handicap your team where you can't make. We ain't talking about a huge market,
Well, they just went to the finals with that same team.
Yeah, but
Surprising.
those people gonna need their money, and those contracts, Daniel Gafford gonna have to get paid.
If you're
Kyrie
talking-
gonna have to come up. You see what I'm saying? Everybody gonna have to get paid, and you ain't gonna have that money for everybody with Luka getting $350 million.
But
If
what
you're
I'm saying
talking
is
money-
the team that you had with Luka went to the finals. The team you traded and got Anthony Davis didn't make the playoffs.
Well, everybody else was hurt though.
That's because Kyrie tore his Achilles.
Yeah.
They-
Dude, they had like
He's supposed to
6
be your
people
star.
hurt.
They wasn't going to make it with just Kyrie.
They were 2 games behind the Lakers
At
from the
first they
third
was.
slot.
Yeah, at
They
first
was 10. They was 2 games behind.
Yeah, they and
Everything was that close.
And then they slid down to like what that 10th seed, and then
They lost in the play-in.
Yeah, I mean they all was
Right.
real close.
Dude,
But-
their star players were all hurt.
Yeah, but I'm saying, but yeah,
That's the problem.
all
Why would
three
you
of them-
trade for
but
Anthony
then-
Davis, who always hurt?
But they had
because
two
Luka
other,
Doncic hadn't even played a game because he was drunk all
and
season.
then they had 2 other bigs other
He
than
didn't even decide to
AD.
play.
You had
Drunk
Gafford,
ass.
You had Gafford
Derek Lively.
Derek Lively. Who was the other? What?
PJ Washington.
PJ Washington.
So why Palinka can't say, give me PJ Washington, Gafford, or Lively in that trade?
Yeah.
Money wise,
That lets you know. No, that lets you know. Minnesota. I mean, Dallas GM played their ass. He didn't even give him a big. He like, I'm gonna take y'all big, get y'all this drunk ass dude, and keep all the bigs for me.
You make that trade every single time. You trade 33 and can barely stay on the court for 26 and playable every single
Look,
time.
if I was the Lakers, I would have did the same.
5-time first team all star.
But I at least asked for a big in return, though.
That's what I'm saying.
Money wise, it wouldn't work. Money wise, it won't work. And I think
keep saying money wise, it won't work. If you're a championship contender, you're gonna do like Golden State do. You're gonna pay that luxury
Jackson
tax.
Hayes was on y'all roster when y'all made
You're
that
gonna pay
trade,
that
right?
luxury tax.
Yeah.
Well, hey, you know what? Y'all gonna take motherfucking Jackson Hayes and you gonna send me a big back.
Send me Daniel Gafford.
I'll did something.
Do you know how much Daniel Gafford makes and know how much Jackson Hayes makes? Jackson Hayes makes less than makes $1 million a year. Daniel Gafford, I believe, makes what? Look it up for me. And while you're looking it up, also,
if that's the
case,
thing of it is,
Bronny James
the
$3
thing of it
million
is,
contract.
the thing of it is,
no, man.
Here's what you're also missing. They made that trade, and then they also made the Mark Williams trade. So you have to remember that they
but
did.
we know that trade got rescinded though, because he ain't
but they didn't know that at the time.
Yeah.
They had that in the pocket.
Pass his
But hold
physical.
on.
Right, they didn't know that at the time.
Did Mark Williams come back and play decent this year?
No, he didn't pass his physical, bro.
But didn't Mark Williams come back and play decent this year?
Didn't Ty
LeBron got a chance to dunk on him and everything.
bro?
Mark James still
It's
playable.
It's Todd Gurley. It's Todd Gurley.
They decided.
It's Todd Gurley.
Don't do Todd.
It's Todd Gurley, bro.
Nobody
it's
said
Todd Gurley.
Hold on.
You gonna give Todd Gurley a 3-4 year contract with
Nobody
the knees?
said give him that.
Nobody
said give him that, right?
No.
Nobody said
he was
give Mark
already under
Williams that.
contract. He was already under
What,
contract.
he got 2 more years left?
Yes. Why would you tie up?
Because you need somebody to stick Rudy Gobert right now?
No, I think what the Lakers did at the time.
You need somebody to stick Rudy right now.
What
That's
Rob
why.
Pelinka told LeBron James and Luka Doncic and the media is that I understand y'all want a center right now. We ain't getting it right now. We gonna talk about it in the offseason.
Just bad decisions all the way around.
No.
So now we put our 40-year-old
Just bad
star
decisions.
out on the court knowing we ain't even trying
what
to
we
help
got
him so
over
he
there,
can
Mark?
sprain his MCL.
Right.
We tried to help him. We couldn't get it, and then after
You
that,
just said we're not getting the center. We'll talk about it now.
No.
So then if
No,
I'm
no, no,
LeBron,
no.
we shut it the fuck down. If you
we
ain't out here trying
got
to
it.
win.
No. We got a center on the last day of the trade deadline. We went a day. Then after that, the trade was rescinded because
then after that, that's when he got Lynn.
you can't
No,
tie up
the
that.
Lakers rejected the trade.
No,
Because
they
he failed the physical.
He failed the physical, bro.
Right.
He failed the physical.
He's still healthy enough to play in the NBA.
But, no.
He failed
You
they
can't- 'cause
physical,
the-
yes.
No. The thing is like it's a Kawhi Leonard situation. If Kawhi say he ain't good enough to go, and his doctor said he ain't good enough to go, but the team says he is, who's right? Well, the team says we don't want to pay X amount of dollars for this dude to
We
come
talking
in.
about change, though. We ain't talking about no money. We talking about change.
Yeah, but
all the Lakers are is money,
I don't think
sir.
the Lakers even knew. he
No,
was
but I'm
hurt.
talking about how much
money-
does Mark Williams make?
Mo-
That's what I'm saying.
No. Look, listen. Alex Lynn made only less than $1 million.
He made the
We would not
minimum.
we would not cut him because of money, because Genie Bus has a policy that if we're not paying a player to stay home. They just don't do that. It's not what the Lakers
Maxi
do.
Kleber got paid to stay home all year. He didn't
He was
even come
injured
to
and
practice.
coming back.
But he didn't even come to practice.
He was injured and coming back. He was a throw-in for salary to make that deal work. You took that injured play, but they had a center. Mark Williams was our center, and then the trade deadline happened, and then we couldn't go back.
So you saying Maxi Kleber and Morris was throw-ins to make the deal work for salary purposes?
Yes.
But Morris' brother said,
Oh well,
that
he can say what he want to say, but
that those was you Luka's best friends, and Luka
Yeah.
couldn't go without them.
yeah,
We've been
but
talking about
no.
these
We can
punk
get
ass
off.
Lakers
We can get
all
off
All I
of
know
it.
is
We were talking
I looked
about Nico,
Hold
but
on,
with
I looked it up. Jackson Hayes signed a 2-year, $4 million deal, and then Gafford signed a 3-year, $40 million deal.
yeah, that money don't work, bro. You can't do that. That just don't work.
Luxury tax. If you want to win, you got to pay.
You got to go.
So it looks like the Nuggets are going to beat the Clippers, and the Rockets and Warriors. That's happening.
Game 7. That's tomorrow.
That's tomorrow. What we got on that?
Oh,
one?
get him,
my
Russ.
God.
Draymond Green ass.
I'm so happy
It's
for that
ruined
dude.
it. He ruined
believe-
it for people. He ruined it.
I believe.
For Golden State,
I believe
man.
Golden State gonna win it, but it's gonna have to be that Jimmy Butler really gonna have to go into playoff
Jimmy Butler mode. Yeah.
But they put themselves in a bad position right now because Game 7, anything can happen.
It's
on
in,
the
it's in
road.
Houston,
The
right?
ref's about one thing away from kicking Draymond out for the whole game.
Oh, yeah.
I thought he was done last game.
They said
he hit dude in the head.
Yeah.
I'm
no.
like,
They said he
bro,
found a cheat code because he found out that a tech, you can't issue a tech on a flagrant. It's not the same.
It's a flagrant foul.
Yeah. So
A flagrant
So
foul and a tech is
it's two different things. So he could do a flagrant and it won't
But
be a
you
tech.
can still be kicked out if you get a flagrant too.
Flagrant 2, yeah, that's a technical foul.
And he punched. He damn near hit dude dead.
But he gonna get his.
dude would have flopped. If that was LeBron, Draymond's out of there
But he gonna get his one though.
because he would have stayed on the ground.
He gonna get his
for
one.
an
But
hour.
I ain't gonna talk about one coach and not talk about the other. If y'all been following that the Golden State series, y'all would notice Jonathan Kuminga hasn't played.
He played
Yeah.
one game.
The only time he played is when Draymond was kicked out.
Yeah. Steve
and
Kerr
in the regular
fucking up.
season,
But we
Jonathan
can't say-
Kuminga was their leading scorer against the Rockets.
We're not gonna say Steve Kerr's fucking up though, because Steve Kerr won them 2 games by his coaching alone.
Is this the first
Yeah,
time Kerr's
but-
done this shit?
Nah, but you need Jonathan Kuminga in these games, man. You losing because you don't
and
have
he's so
athletic
athletic. Yeah.
perimeter players. You losing because of that.
He did the
You-
same
Draymond
shit.
Green ain't giving you nothing offensively. Nothing. And then if you got him and Gary Payton in there at the same time, all they got to do is stick Steph and Jimmy Butler, and that's what they've been doing.
It throws they offense off because ain't neither one. Both of them gonna give you defense.
And
So
they
ain't nobody
and they ain't
Draymond
looking
runs
for a
the
shot,
offense,
but they
though.
not
Right,
looking
yeah.
for a shot. So Draymond is getting the ball at the free throw line. All he got to do is turn around and drive, but he ain't looking. He's throwing it off real fast. You see what I'm saying? He's not even an offensive player, so they need offensive people in there. Without that, man,
he runs their offense.
like I said, anybody can do that. He's a bum.
So we got
First
the
ballot
Warriors.
Hall of Famer, though.
We got the Warriors beating the Rockets,
don't
and then
know
obviously
why.
the Nuggets will go on. So who do the Warriors go on to play if they win?
Minnesota.
Minnesota.
Ah,
And
God
then
bless them,
the
man.
Nuggets are playing Thunder.
God bless them. Oh man, I think Ant's gonna win a chip this year.
No, he's
no. 'Cause there's who's coming out the East?
I think Denver's gonna beat OKC.
Either Boston or Cleveland. That's gonna be tough, bro.
Yeah, Boston and Cleveland.
The
man.
East might have it this year.
And then-
Conference Finals is going to be game
The
7.
way I
Watch.
seen Orlando handle Boston,
Yeah.
it might
Could be
Cleveland.
And then,
Cleveland,
you know,
right.
Hey, Boston is kind of banged up right now.
They are.
I ain't never seen a team go up 60
How do you guys feel about them
on
saying?
the road.
How do you guys feel about them saying that they're gonna break that team up, Boston?
They have to.
They've been saying that.
They have
Money
to.
wise, they have to.
They're gonna eventually do
But
something.
it's going to be either Drew Holiday or Porzingis.
It got to be one of the big two.
And who would you move though?
I would get rid of Drew. Dude's always hurt.
Now he's been
If you
hurt.
get rid of Drew, you're not winning a championship.
I get rid of Porzingis.
But you do got to get rid of one of them though. I'll get rid of Port. You're gonna have to get rid of 3 people. Drew, probably Horford, and probably Porzingis too.
You
Or Jaylen Brown.
you know what? And honestly, you
They
might
saying
ain't-
Jaylen Brown got to prove himself this year.
And honestly, you
Well, I
might
told
ain't
you
even have
after
to
that-
give up.
after the Olympics happened.
Right.
He was off that team.
And honestly,
Yeah.
you might not even have to give up Horford. I believe Horford might retire after this year, bro.
I can see it.
I mean, hell, he got a chip. He
This is
did
his
what he
30th
needed
year,
to do.
right?
Yeah, damn, yeah, right.
Can I ask you guys a question?
Mm.
So obviously we had the weird situation with Giannis and with Halliburton's dad that went down. Giannis went on and said, "Stitches get stitches," which I thought was fucking hilarious. I love Giannis for that. They had that situation. Hallie, you know, it's not really a story because Hallie's dad said that he was in the wrong and apologized to everybody. You know, so that's not really a story anymore.
But then he went after he tweeted, he went right back on the air and tweeted out some more shit. That's the reason why he can't go to any other motherfucking playoff games.
Keep your drunk ass off the
Because
court.
he did what he did on
Why
the
is
court.
everybody drunk
He
to you?
apologized,
They're drunk.
but then right after he apologized, he tweeted some old dumbass shit back out.
Well, you can't fault the sober guy for what the drunk dude did. They're 2 different people.
That's true.
And I think Giannis was was in his right. I think it was well within his
Yeah.
range. But what happens to Giannis next season? Because you got a 30 Dame's not coming back until he's like 37.
He unfollowed the Bucks too. I heard on social media.
I think he might be gone.
should be
I think
gone.
he needs to be a part of that.
And
Loyalty, he got him a ring.
If he's gone, where does he go?
Well, I don't think he could pick. He got the
Let's
choice.
let's go to Houston.
A lot of some people say Houston, but a lot of people really thinking maybe New York. But I'm like, how the hell you gonna make
I
that
think
work
KD
in New
go
York?
to New York.
You got to give up somebody.
KD need to retire.
He's still busting his.
I have
Them
a
LeBron
I have a
busting
sleeper team
heads.
that
Don't
I've
make
that
no
I've been
difference.
thinking about,
What's the sleeper team?
and it makes perfect sense draft capital wise. If you're the Bucks, this is probably the one team that you want to go to that well. OKC. OKC doesn't have a clear superstar outside of Shea.
And I can see a sign and trade with to give up 3-4 draft picks and
Also,
they can make that happen.
Because they
over
got
there.
like
got a
what?
lot.
Give up Chet.
OKC has a lot of depth, and OKC has 3 first-round draft picks this year.
And you can give up
Give
too.
up 3 first rounders and Chet.
Give them all up for Giannis.
Yeah.
I give up because they have
I
like
like
I think
that.
they have maybe 5th. Maybe they have like maybe 8 or 9 first-round draft
In
picks
5
next
years,
in
yeah.
like 5 years. I give them 5 first-round picks. Let them rebuild because they don't have anything.
Rounders with Chet. Get Chet Holmgren out of there.
No,
Yeah, I know. You know
Yeah,
what?
I give up
Honestly,
Chet and
because
5
you think about it.
I don't think you'd have to. Is what I'm
You
saying.
have to
think
give
about-
up one person.
Yeah,
Well, you gotta give up somebody.
You can't
We
give
talking
up.
about Giannis.
You can't give up Chet, and Giannis can fill that void real easy, better than the fucking Chet can. I can see that.
If Mark, can you look up how much Giannis Antetokounmpo makes?
I give up Chet
They're
and the 5 first rounders.
Come on.
they're when it comes to because you got here's the thing. Here's the money. Their highest contracts on their team is for the 25-26 season. Shea's making 38. Isaiah Hardenstein's making 28. Dort's making 17. Isaiah
Dort's out of
Joe's
there too.
Isaiah Joe's making 12. Chet's making 13. And Caruso's making 18.
You know what?
So
Because
Chet,
Chet at the
Dort,
end of his
and,
Chet at the end of his rookie
Isaiah.
year.
Yeah, you
Hit it at the end of his rookie deal.
you can I would package up.
Is he at the end?
Hey, hold on. Let's pause this for a second. I love that dude, man. I'm so happy for him. So Russell Westbrook just got his second fast break steal dunk, and he hung on the rim on purpose. And the ref went to tee him up, and he gave himself the tee at the same time, and told the crowd to get their ass the fuck out of here. He said, "Take their ass home." For context, he just played with the Clippers, and they lost faith in him and let him go. So this is extra special for him.
Oh, you talking about this break right here?
It's the second one. So he hangs on it. That was after he teed himself up.
Don't y'all think that's kind of hurting him next round though against the refs?
They gonna be.
I don't know.
They
He
gonna be
didn't say
spotting
he didn't tell the ref to get the fuck out of there. He was talking about the Clippers.
Yeah, but all that nastiness. That's
No,
uncalled
that's
for.
him
Nah,
being
that's
passionate about his
passion.
foreman team. That ain't got nothing to do with the refs.
Nah.
That ain't got nothing to do with the refs.
Once again,
That's passion.
it's
nastiness.
So Giannis,
Getting
Giannis
back on
signed
this
a-
game here for
hold
a
on.
second. Once again, it's showing that James Harden
Never
does what he normally
shows up.
does.
Never the game 7.
And I wish Puncho was here.
Never the game 7.
He
Damn.
signed a 3-year, $175 million. With the Bucks
What's his current salary for
right
per
now?
year?
So next year he's estimated to get $58 million.
Who was that?
So,
Giannis.
58. So you got to come up with $58 million. I'm sending them Hardenstein. I'm sending them Dort, and I'm sending them Aaron Wiggins, who makes $10 million. I'm calling it a night,
Yeah, in the draft picks.
and 5 draft picks. And
I'll
then
take it.
and then you have a lineup of Shea, Giannis, Isaiah Joe, Chet, Caruso.
Caruso come off the bench.
Huh?
Caruso coming off the bench.
I'm just naming players. And then you got the both Jalen Williams still, and you fill it out from there.
Yeah, but with those certain players that you just said, I guarantee you, Milwaukee gonna be like, nope. I take 2 of those, and you give me Chet. I would. You know, they already gonna look at that.
They're gonna ask for him.
They gonna ask for
They'll
him.
probably ask for him.
And the 5 first round picks. Hey, here you go.
Shit, I'll give you 6.
So nobody on the Clippers have found Russell Westbrook for that?
No, they ain't gonna do
No,
that.
Clippers don't got not one dog on the team.
Nah, they ain't gonna do
No,
that,
they
bro.
ain't gonna do it.
They don't got Morris no more?
Nah.
I said he'd be the only one that would
Morris has been on. Which one?
do it. Either one of them. They
Marcus
both.
Morris.
The,
Marcus
the other one been
Morris.
on what?
First
First
Take?
take and all that. Yeah. So
Is with Dame's injury, is he a Hall of Famer?
Ever since he went to the Bucks, no.
Man, damn.
What he did alone in Portland, he's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, when he left Portland, his
Why?
shit went
What he got
down.
like 5? Why is he a Hall of Famer?
He ain't.
I looked for.
He got one year they won a playoff series.
Nah, he won.
He won a couple. He sent people home.
Yeah. I say when he was in Portland, Hall of
he
Famer,
sent-
but
he sent,
when he went to Milwaukee,
Westbrook
OKC
home.
and them home.
when he went to Milwaukee, he did kind of fall off.
Twice.
Man. It was like what the hell you doing, Dame? And honestly, I don't even think we all know he didn't want to be in fucking Milwaukee. He wanted to be in Miami. He wanted to be in Miami, but
Yeah.
you didn't trade me there. So
That's another example when loyalty goes wrong. He tried to stay with Portland for too long.
yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know about Hall of Fame. But by the way, people are in the Hall of Fame these days. Yeah,
I mean, that's Dame time, man. He's Hall of Fame.
Nah,
What has he done?
nothing.
There's a lot of bums in the NBA in
Hey.
the Hall of Fame that didn't do
Hey.
nothing because of Michael Jordan.
Hey, he was
he
the
got
man
to the
over
Western
there in Portland.
Conference Finals one time.
Is Sean Kemp a Hall of Famer?
You got to say for those 10 years. Oh
Yeah.
damn.
What did he do?
Got to the finals.
Oh yeah. It's Sean Kemp.
And got swept. Gentlemen swept. Damn near.
But I mean, you got
got
to
it.
give
Yeah.
it.
I think they won 6 games. I think they.
You
won
got to.
6.
You got to
No.
give it to Dame. For those 10 years, he held Portland down. He was all they had.
I mean, yeah.
No,
but
they went
once
5.
he left,
and
think
you
they
can
went
do
shit
that.
went
now.
downhill.
CJ McCullough was pretty tight too.
Yeah.
And now look, he's with the Pelicans. Ain't
Now
do
CJ
shit.
McCullough, damn sure ain't no Hall of Famer.
Hell
And
no.
that shows like when they moved him over there, you not a point guard. Stick to being a 2 guard. He's better at being a 2 than a point. And he got over there. I was
Is
like,
John Wall a Hall of Famer?
No,
hell no.
they ain't have enough time in the league.
Did John Wall do more than Dame, or did Dame do more than John Wall?
No,
John-
Just because he has his
Dame
own
did
song,
more.
don't mean he.
Is
Did
Gil-
John Wall win a championship in college?
No, not in Kentucky.
He didn't
Is-
win?
No,
is-
he didn't
is
win.
Gilbert
He wasn't
Are-
on that team
that ain't
with
an
Anthony
NBA Hall of
Davis?
Fame anyway. That's just
Is
a
who?
basketball Hall of Fame.
Is Gilbert Arenas Hall of Famer?
8-0.
He led the league in scoring a couple of times.
No.
That's tough, man.
So I'm not seeing anything.
Gil
I'm not
didn't
seeing
have
any
a long
evidence.
longevity of. He didn't have a long enough time. I don't
Yeah.
think.
I believe he got blackballed from the league.
Yeah.
Being wrong. That was just wrong how they did him, man.
Well, if you bring a gun in the locker room,
Yeah,
you don't need to be in the Hall of
You
Fame.
be a dumbass like that.
Hey, he tried to take it back to the 70s and 80s, bringing guns in the damn locker room and shit. I'm looking like,
Shooting
Right.
craps like y'all
Right.
still in the hood.
Don't they
You
have
can't
metal-
give niggas $1 million.
Don't they got
these
metal
days.
detectors? How the hell?
I don't
They
know.
do
bro.
nine shit.
9-time All-Star, All-Star Game MVP, 1-time NBA first team, 4-time second team, 2-time third team, Rookie of the Year, All Rookie first team, 2-time 3-point contest champion, the little cup champion, 75th anniversary team.
The little cup
Yeah,
champion.
he a Hall of Fame. He got all those accolades.
Who is
Okay.
Dame.
that? Dang. Yeah. Okay. All right.
You think so? That's a Hall of Fame career?
Yeah, he
Dame
done
was a
won
Hall
a
of
3-point
Famer.
contest a couple times.
Okay. Okay. I'll take
Hall
it.
of Fame career, man.
I will take
He,
it.
he ain't cheat the game, I guess.
Nah.
He ain't got no defense.
No.
He's a
definitely.
one effort defensive player. He gives you that first effort, that second effort.
That's
it.
it.
Yeah.
Get your ass off the court.
Let's see. Where else?
You can go back to the top.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's what I was missing. The NFL fines the defensive coordinator Jeff Ulbrich $100,000 and the Falcons $250,000 over the leak of Shador Sanders' phone number.
His son.
They
fucked
should have
up.
reversed it.
His son
He
did
should have
that
been
shit.
fined more.
He should have been fired.
His son got the damn number and prank phone called that man on one of the most important days. And then he did a video clip of him doing it in his damn dorm room with his boys.
Yeah, saying fuck y'all. Pretty
Right.
much. His dad should be fired for that.
Man,
If they was black, he'd be fired.
I'd have whooped my son's ass.
How does your son even get the number?
Right.
They
he
said
went
that
through.
the iPad was already
Yeah.
unlocked.
Yeah, but you
Exactly.
going off to college.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
what
exactly right.
How'd you get
he
the
went,
shit?
He went through the iPad
They said
because
that he went to his dad's job, whatever, and then he saw that the iPad was unlocked.
they said. You believe
That's
the guy
some
who
bullshit.
did the
That-
prank?
Hey,
because
You
what
think
I
he went
he
to the
should've got his
iPad?
ass whooped.
He shouldn't even have known that there was numbers
Right.
in there to call.
because what I didn't know and I found out now is that the NFL gives
special
players certain phones and shit
Yeah.
for that specific reason with that number so they can only call them on that phone. And his dumbass, like you said, his dumbass son went through the motherfucking damn shit. But like as a dad, ain't no way in the world I'm living that valuable information open like that. I blame the dad for that, and I blame the son.
Like if I left my work laptop open and one of my kids just go on there and just start calling people or just doing that, I'd be fired.
Oh yeah,
Like, come on.
Yeah.
Taking customers' information and putting it places and all that shit.
First of all, my kids wouldn't even touch my iPad and start calling people.
Does it matter that he called Primetime and Shador and apologized man to man?
He should be fired for being a bad father to begin with.
No, that don't
Real
matter.
talk. If I seen them on the
that
street,
don't
I'd whoop
matter.
their ass.
Yeah, that do not matter.
No.
No.
Okay.
Shit.
He should be fired for being a bad
Because
father.
if you wouldn't have got caught, you wouldn't have
So
apologize.
right. So we know the league fined him, and if I was the team, hey, bro, you got to go, because that's personal information. And how am I gonna believe you? And then on top of that, he one of the defensive coordinators. That should be an offensive coordinator calling Shador, not him, not his son. That's how I knew something was fishy.
And it shows that a lot of other stuff have been coming out that there was some type of coercion with the league and the owners to not draft Shador because of what Deion Sanders said, specifically how he would get involved.
Right.
But how you gonna hold Deion Sanders to a standard that you never hold anybody else to?
Right. And not only top of that, Brian Daboll put out there and said his interview was horrible. And then once he did that, he went to another team. His interview was horrible.
Yeah,
So
they said that he got a FaceTime call while he was in the interview, and he stayed on FaceTime the whole time and finished the interview.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah, that's
that's some bullshit.
No, that's how kids are nowadays, though.
Yeah.
Kids would be on FaceTime in school.
Yeah.
I'm like, how the hell are y'all even doing that? They sitting up in FaceTime in class.
I feel like he's too smart to be doing that.
No, man.
That's just I can believe
Like-
that because that's what kids do now.
we
Do you think that? I mean,
but you can't hold that against him.
Does Shador need to accept any blame for what happened?
a little.
No, because your talent normally speaks for itself. In the past and for everybody else, your talent speaks for itself. If you don't put yourself in the light of doing any crime or anything like that, usually your work speaks for itself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So in this circumstances, in this incident, now it don't.
Right.
So why would he feel like he need to tone his ego down
Even if
or
he-
take any blame for, you know what I'm
if
saying,
he-
being himself?
Even if he purposely sabotaged the interviews with teams he didn't like.
It's been players that do that all the
Yeah,
damn
they always
time.
done that.
Well,
Dion came in and told, and this is
Was it
probably a bad
the Bears
example.
he told? He was
No, I
like,
think it was the Giants.
Oh, okay, yeah.
They tried to give him that playbook, and he said, "I'm not going
He's
seven."
like, when y'all draft, I'd be gone.
I'd be
I
gone.
ain't learning
And
that
then-
playbook.
And then Dion even said when Atlanta had drafted, he said, "Man, I'm gonna tell them they're gonna have to give me a whole fucking boatload of money." And not on top of that, for Shador, Brian Daboll did give him the playbook. He came back and said, "I ain't read that shit." In the interview, he literally, "I ain't say I ain't read that shit." And then let's think about players.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. He can't be his dad.
Right, exactly.
Shiloh figured that out.
Yeah.
Shador should have figured that out.
Exactly.
So let me ask you this. Let's say Shador get interviewed with all the teams in the NFL, right? Half of them he told to fuck off, right? Only out of the ones that he actually paid attention to, only 4 or 5 of them really needed a quarterback, and they just drafted other quarterbacks.
Pittsburgh for one.
Is that his fault? Like he doesn't take any blame for that.
Well, I can't say that
The other teams that needed quarterbacks
because
only got
I'm
quarterbacks.
sure he didn't tell the teams that needed quarterbacks to fuck off.
exactly.
You don't think so?
No, he didn't. Why would you?
Because he didn't. He probably wouldn't be. There was teams that were probably open to drafting him that he had no interest.
This had
in.
nothing to do with him. This
Nah.
had everything to do with
Nah,
Deion Sanders.
it didn't have nothing to do with that.
Really?
man.
Okay.
Yeah.
This was a blow to Deion. To
Yeah,
say,
they
"You
wanted
think
to
you got
humble him."
some control
Right.
Yeah.
over us. We do what the fuck we want.
Because I mean, think
That's
about
all
it.
it was.
So we knew if he'd got drafted by Pittsburgh wasn't gonna have that shit with Deion because we got Mike Tomlin over here, right?
Well, that's why they should have drafted him.
Right.
That's why I'm
New York-
pissed off about that.
Yeah.
We already know fucking Brian Daboll is on a hot seat, him and the GM, regardless. This is a prove it year for them. They have to win. If they don't, they both gone. Okay. And then let's think about the players that got drafted that did have like fucked up shit off the NFL. Johnny Manziel. Reason why he got drafted is because he did his thing in college. He
He's an
won fucking
alcoholic.
Heisman. And yeah, and he kept
Baker
doing
Mayfield.
Baker Mayfield, definitely.
Did he win a Heisman?
Yeah.
Did Shador?
No.
No.
Okay.
If Shador had won the fucking Heisman,
He would have got drafted in the first round.
man, he'd easily.
Okay, so that's talent.
But Shador was a Heisman finalist a couple
They
years.
said he should have won. Like,
Right, he should have won. Shit, when you think about it, he should have won.
There's Heisman finalists that
Yeah,
get
but I'm
dropped that drops.
Hey,
No, that's the difference because everybody want to compare him to quarterbacks that got drafted in the 5th round and stuff like that.
Yeah.
None of them compared to Shador because none of them was at the height of Shador.
Right.
None of them was number 1 in passing and number 1 in touchdown. Tom Brady was the 3rd string quarterback on Michigan. So he wasn't supposed to get drafted. So there's a big difference in that. You can't compare those other people.
Everybody had him as their number 2. Some people had him number 1, but most people had him as the number 2 ranked quarterback in the draft.
I just don't blame teams for not wanting him.
Why?
Because he embodies. It's like having. I said it to somebody earlier. It's like having Tim Tebow and Eli Manning on your team at the same like the situations are like mixed, because with Shador comes a lot of flash. It comes a lot of lights. It comes a lot of attention.
And Tim Tebow came with the same thing.
But he's good.
And he may very well be good, but some teams after seeing I'm not saying Tim Tebow still got drafted.
So Shador come with more flash than Travis Hunter?
Ooh,
Yeah.
No.
Because he comes to prime time. He comes to prime time.
No, prime time
As
is
his
in
dad.
Colorado coaching.
As his dad. He's still his dad.
And he's still he's Travis Hunter's mentor, godfather.
His dad is arguably the greatest football player of all time.
I think if Lonzo Ball would have talked the same shit that Shador talked, Lonzo Ball would have slid.
No.
Because LaMelo talks shit like that.
His
No,
dad
I don't think so.
talked all type of shit.
Yeah, man.
No, I'm saying if him the player.
It's
Him
just
the
the
player.
NFL is still the good old boys network.
Exactly.
So they
It is.
still have the power to do
We
that.
control everything.
I don't have a problem with it, honestly.
That's all it is.
I don't have a
Honestly,
problem with it.
still
That's
think
them
about it.
humbling us anytime they want to.
I don't
So
have a
they
problem
want
with
us
it.
to be in this bubble or
want us
this
to conform.
this frame of how they want us to be. They don't like the jury. They don't like the
Right.
confidence.
They
They
don't
don't
like the
like
flash.
Yeah, the flash.
They don't like niggas.
That's all it is.
I have no problem with them not picking him up until the 5th
But
round.
think about
I just hope he turned in the best.
Because I think
Probably
the thing
the
is
best
like
quarterback in the league.
it's not like he
You
needs.
should have been waiting for
it's not like he needs the money. All
It
he
ain't
needs
about
is-
it.
ain't about money.
He needs the money.
He needs the
It ain't about money.
opportunity.
Listen, hold on. Check
He just
it out.
needs the opportunity.
Since you brought out the money, this is the difference in the money in the rounds. So with what's his name? Cam Ward going number 1 round. He's making $40 million.
in 4 years.
You can't cut that. Well, you can, but you won't cut that off your team. Shador's making $4 million in what, 4 years or 2 years?
Yeah.
That's easy to cut.
So $10 million a year versus $4 million.
That's easy.
First of all,
No,
he got to make
no,
the
he's
team
making
first.
$1 million a year. 4 years, $4 million.
Okay. Yeah.
$1 million. That's easy to just cut.
Yeah. 'Cause he
Sure,
got-
but if he's him, then okay.
I'm saying, but think about
if
it.
he's him, then
He has
he's
to-
gonna get picked up.
But why do you even why that pressure has to be on you?
He still got to make the team regardless. He's a fucking 5th round pick. He has to make the team. And if he don't make the team, you know what? Cut.
But if he was
Have you seen
drafted
the
in the
roster
first
he got?
round,
I thought he was good. I thought he was
guaranteed-
talented.
He is good. He's gonna make.
Well, then
the
he's
team.
gonna make the team. Then
So
who
you
cares?
Mean, so,
But he's
bro,
gonna make the
hold
team
on,
for
hell
$1 million
no.
a
Hell
year.
no! You mean to tell me you got that argument, but LeBron James and Bronny James cannot make the team, and he can get all this done, but you want to talk that about
it's the
Shador?
NFL. I said I
Bro,
don't care.
no, man, man.
said I
You
don't
sound
care.
just like one of them right now.
What do you mean?
What do you mean? What I mean? You're saying
I'm saying if I'm
you're
Shador,
saying
I don't care.
Everything that Shador done in college,
Right.
don't matter.
No, I'm not saying that.
Yes, you did. You said he got to come and make the team again.
No,
even
I'm not
though
saying
he was
that.
the number 1 guy in college.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
That's-
What I'm saying is like he's gonna make the team. What is
Yeah,
it?
he'll
Fucking
make
that's
it.
what
He'll
you-
make the
he'll make it.
team.
What if he get injured?
Then he gets injured. He could have got injured
He
anywhere.
get injured, and they cut him because he only making $1 million.
Yeah, they'll do that.
He could get
If he
injured
was
anywhere
making
though.
$10
No, what I'm
million, he get injured. He's still on the roster.
he's
But
a
if he's
5th round pick.
if he's that good of a player, then he's gonna get picked up somewhere. Talent is talent.
Not necessarily if you
Not
injured.
if they blackballing
they
you from the league.
That's what I'm saying. They
I
blackballing
just
you.
don't. I just don't
You
see.
had
I
one
just don't
we
see the
had one
5th
team
round.
take a chance on you.
I just don't see of him getting drafted 5th round as a stamp of what he is versus what he's done.
Okay, well-
I think that his greatness in college will speak for him. His talent
Yeah,
will speak
it
for him.
should. No,
He'll
it
go
should.
to he'll go to
He
camp
don't
and
get-
excel.
No, he
He'll go-
don't get those opportunities. Now, when you go to camp, you got to work your way up the depth chart. You're not going to get the snaps.
Because first of all,
So your progression is way slower
Right.
than it would have been.
Depending on where he would have went, he would have had to fight for
Anywhere.
the starting
So check
spot
this out.
anyway.
Anywhere. If he would have won the first round, he's getting number
Right.
1 snaps.
When he
no
go to
matter
camp-
where he goes.
he got the rookie camp. Then you got the mini camp. Then you got the mandatory camp. Then after that, it's a break. And then after that, the end of August, that's when you bring it all together. So he got to do that. And
he
then on top of that,
have to show his talent at every step of the way when nobody else has to.
I get it. I get he shouldn't have to.
Right.
But he is. So,
they saying what hurt him is that he didn't do shit at the fucking combine.
No, he did enough on film.
Yeah, but it's enough. It's players that don't even come to the combine.
Yeah, that's some bullshit.
That's what I'm saying.
And not on top of that, when he said, "Man, come on, if you ain't ready to draft me, you ain't seen the teams I done changed. If you don't know who the hell my dad is," they looked at us like
legendary. That's what he's saying. Like
legendary.
That's what I'm saying.
Greatness.
But they holding that against him, which they shouldn't be doing it.
In Colorado, he did
Exactly.
good.
He's the one that said it.
fucked up, bro.
He's the one that said
They
it.
hold it
how
against him.
many
He's a black
other
man.
people said that? That's what I'm saying. All wide receivers say that.
Yeah, all wide receivers think with it, man.
You see what I'm saying?
I just my thing
He
is
shouldn't have fallen in the 5th round.
And then not only
That's all
top of this,
maybe not, but if I'm him, I don't care.
and not on top of this,
Okay, cool. I'll go to work.
think about
Yeah.
this.
That's a great attitude to have.
You know what?
That's the attitude he does
that's
have.
the-
That's the
that he
thing.
has.
Here's the
That's the
thing.
attitude he has.
Here's the thing, because when I went on my trip, and I had some guys, the guys I was telling you about that was on Fox News Business and stuff like that. And they were talking, and he asked me about Black Lives Matter, right? And asked me what my perspective was on it. I'm a conservative. That's just how I roll. I'm not a liberal at all. I'm liberal in morals. I'm conservative when it comes to things financial and money, right?
Me too.
Yeah, that's how most black people are, and white people don't know that for some reason. But he asked, he was like, "What is it that black people like? What are they missing?" And I'm saying they just need to pull themselves together. We need to pull ourselves together. When I've lost opportunities, I didn't blame people. I didn't point fingers. I said, "Okay, cool, I'll go to work."
But we need the world
But
to
you gotta
recognize that
understand,
there are differences and there are different paths that we all took to get to where we are.
I understand that.
So
I understand
without them recognizing that and never recognizing that, it can never be equal because they always want to say, "I don't see color. I look at everybody the same."
If we all
if
get
me
down and
you-
work, then it's going to be equal anyway because we did the work.
No, because it's going to be 10 people who don't even get that opportunity to come up and get that job.
I hear that.
You see what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. So everybody
but
can't
in,
be looked
in
at.
Shador's situation, in his situation, in sports, if you have the talent, you're gonna get the opportunity.
He's gonna work.
Nope, not
If you have
necessarily.
not this time.
Not
If
necessarily.
you have the, if you go through college and you have the stats,
Nope. So I'm gonna give you a good.
maybe not later in your career, but early in your career.
No, I'm gonna give you a great example of this. I don't know if y'all remember this. Y'all may be a little bit too young. Y'all remember? I think his name was Maurice Clarett or something.
Maurice Clarett.
Yeah, so he
played
was
for Ohio State.
He was a
Running back.
back who came out of Ohio State. They won the
the
championship his first year.
Yeah.
He decided that he didn't want to play college football
After his
anymore,
freshman
and
year.
he wanted to go to the NFL.
Challenged it.
Nobody drafted him.
Nope.
He was the number
Number one
one
running back.
guy. They actually changed the rule and said, "Nah, you got to stay in college 3 years now."
3 years removed.
You see what I'm
from
saying?
high school.
But no, just because they want to keep the college game the way that it is, they want the good old boy network. They want control. If anybody challenged the system, now they're a martyr. Then Maurice Clarett went to what's that other draft called?
Oh, the supplement.
He went to the supplementary draft. Somebody picked him up there.
Matter of fact, the Denver Broncos.
Yeah, they picked him up. So far on the depth chart, we can never see what he did. I remember one time he got in the game, smashed that shit. We still didn't see him no more. Just like, what's that? Is it
him and
Eric
Mike
Reed?
Wood- no,
Colin
him-
Kaepernick. You know what I'm saying? It's like they want to do what they want to do.
I understand
Talent
that.
don't
I just-
always speaks.
But
Him and the
it's-
receiver.
I think it's different
from USC
because
did it.
I think
Mike
it's-
Williams.
Yeah, Mike Williams. Yeah,
I think it's different for quarterbacks because it's such a pivotal position, and they're so scarce. Good quarterbacks in the NFL, great quarterbacks in the NFL, generational quarterbacks in the NFL.
You know how
are
I would
very, very scarce.
You know why I would believe you until Shador went to 5th round. Because if that what you're saying
if they
is
were
true,
scared, they would take him.
they would have took him.
Because you're talking about a quarterback
No, you're
prototype.
right. You're right.
A quarterback prospect that's typical of everything that they say a black quarterback can't be. This is a guy who stays in the pocket, guys who had amazing accuracy, and his mental school fortitude was
Tough.
A1. He's the toughest kid out there.
Didn't miss games.
So these are the three things that they said black quarterbacks can have. That's why we can't play quarterback. So he's excelled and led all of the BCS in all three of those categories. So that's why we're saying nowhere in hell you can evaluate a quarterback and not choose him.
Are you still saying that because are you still saying that after all the mock drafts that came out that were right fitting players? Because what a mock draft does, it doesn't have any emotion. It just right fits players to systems.
But
and in the mock draft, he was considered to go into the second round.
Yeah, but
after the season, I'm sorry not to cut you off.
So many different
but soon as the season,
I understand. Like most of them.
Soon as the college football season was over with, Shador was number one.
Okay,
exactly.
All of the stuff in the offseason put Cam Ward in front of him.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't even hear about Cam Ward at all until the offseason.
And it happens like that.
I
in
seen
NFL.
Cam
The
Ward
because
they put him in
a lot
front
of
of him after no football is even being played. You see what I'm saying?
It happens
Shador
every
was, like,
season
top
where you
five
see
until like 2 weeks before the draft.
Well, a lot of that stuff is smoke and mirrors too.
You see-
You
you
can't
see-
believe all the reports you hear because some teams put out their own reports just so that a player can drop to them.
So you mean to tell me Cam Ward is a great character? Did you see how he was talking to Shador when their interactions?
Yeah.
No, I'm not. I'm
You
not
see what
saying
I'm saying?
that. I'm
Like-
not saying that. I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is that I'm going off of what I'm just asking.
No, I wasn't asking you. I'm just
No,
saying
no, yeah.
per se.
No, yeah.
Like, they chose him number one.
Yeah.
And that was character flaws right there.
Didn't Cam
I think
Ward say
every
something
year-
crazy on an interview on the field
Yeah.
after a game? Like, did he say nigga or something? What was he saying?
And
I think he said YN.
Well,
he told Shador something about, he was like, at the end of the day, I'm a football player. And Shador was like, I am too, but I'm more flash than you. And he said something else that was very controversial in that shit.
I'm talking about to a reporter.
Yeah, I remember.
Oh,
that.
yeah,
I think
he
he made a comment saying something about
My
what
thing
you
is
said.
like every year you see these quarterbacks come up that have only won like 6 games last season, and all of a sudden they're like, oh, they're one of the best quarterbacks in the draft because they fit the NFL prototype for blase, 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 blah, and they haven't won anything.
Oh, Mitch Trubisky?
Richardson.
I see that happen all the time.
Richardson.
I see that happen all the time.
Richardson.
So just like that could happen, I can also see a player who's excelled
Anthony
and
Richardson.
won.
Oh,
There's
Anthony
been plenty of
Richardson,
quarterbacks who won a lot of games in college, and then for some reason they don't get drafted high.
Yeah,
So
but then you got the Kenny Pickett's, and then you got the Matt Jones and all them.
Yeah.
Who people still came up to go for the first round. You see what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
And Shador went to the 5th round.
And-
you see what I'm saying?
See, the thing
I feel
is,
you, I feel you.
He
Mel
was the
Kiper,
top quarterback.
Mel Kiper, I think dude last name is Reed, and 3 other him, Reed, and somebody else had him as the number 2 quarterback overall rated.
Yeah.
So there's nowhere in the world that he should have slipped all the way to 5. When you knew Pittsburgh, you was sitting right there. You needed a damn quarterback. New York, you didn't draft him because you didn't want to be looking over your shoulder. Oh, we fucked up. Brian Daboll half of the season. Your ass gone. GM, you gone. Hey, let's call Dion right
Can
now.
you blame them for not wanting to give over the keys to their franchise
The
to Shador
Saints, too?
Sanders?
I would have did it, bro. You need
So that's what I
in
don't,
New
I don't
York?
understand why
I don't
you
un- I
saying
don't understand
that.
why you keep
I don't
saying
understand that.
That's
I don't
weird.
understand that. That's
I don't want to fucking
he's
deal
the
with it.
typical
I don't want to fucking
deal
deal
with
with
what?
it.
Nah.
deal with what? Bringing fans, wins. I don't understand that,
bro.
Some teams don't like that.
But
type
what
of
I'm
look.
saying is, he'd
then
have been
they're
perfect.
retarded.
He'd have been perfect in a fucking New York market, man.
They
New
don't
York
draft black
needs that.
quarterbacks.
They need that though.
These are the same teams that passed on Lamar Jackson.
Yep.
Yeah. See where see how they feel.
Right.
No, yeah, I
Because
agree.
he was too.
I'm not saying it because I
Yeah,
agree
no,
with the other
it's just
side.
the way he
I'm
talked.
saying it because
Yeah.
that's a logical point that
And
that's coming from the
To
other
one
side.
of Dre's point,
But we saying, hold on, my bad.
you good?
What Dre and I'm agreeing with is what we're saying is when you speak that, when you put that out there like that, it's like we fight against our own people, our own selves.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
No,
saying?
I'm not. I'm saying it to be objective.
Yeah. Because
But you said if you're them,
What was it,
you
you
wouldn't
understand
choose
why
them.
they.
Right.
I'm
how
asking
can
a
you
question.
understand? I don't understand how you can understand why they
Because
won't
that's
pick
their
them.
perspective. That's what they're saying.
Shador don't want to be known as a fucking runner quarterback.
So-
He studied Tom Brady. He
No,
literally studied Tom Brady.
They
to
are
the
friends.
T.
I've seen him on camera with Tom Brady. Like I've seen, 100%.
But when you see
fuck
him
Tom
run,
Brady.
but when you
'Cause he
see
coulda
Shador,
chosen
He could have chosen to.
yeah,
He coulda
because
chosen
it
to.
was a couple of games where like when Shador took off, everybody was like, "Damn, he moving like that." Yeah, because he don't want y'all to know that he can do it. I'm gonna beat you from the pocket, but when I take off, you gonna be like, "Damn, like what the
That's
fuck?"
why AB fucked his wife. Now I know.
Anthony Brown.
Antonio Brown. Fuck Tom Brady.
And the damn
He a backstabber.
Antonio Brown did it, and the damn what's the yoga instructor?
Yoga instructor.
Yeah.
Giselle giving up that pussy.
Right, and then all of a sudden I remember they left.
Some real nigga.
Well, she left him. She left
Tom
him,
Brady
and
is
then
a backstabber.
then after that, then she started dating some young ass dude. After that, I was like, damn, Giselle, you
Yeah,
getting around, ain't you?
You want to give us the guess who's
And we're gonna do that next week.
next week? Okay, cool. All right, well, we'll go ahead and get out of here. We didn't did our thing today. I think we're at an hour and 40 or something like that.
We had a basketball story on that, but we'll do it later.
All right, so can we wrap up at least what just happened?
Oh yeah,
James Harden just gave you 7 points in a game 7 again.
Again,
wow.
Now,
7 points.
Is James Harden a Hall of Famer?
No.
Hell no.
Because those moments he comes he
short.
don't come up in the biggest moments.
That is insane.
Oh, damn.
That's ridiculous right there.
So
Kawhi
you
give
mean
you
to tell
22,
me the whole
you can't
game
even
they
give me
just
7.
showed his stats? He only had 7 points.
7 points.
That's ridiculous.
2 for 8 from the field.
That's ridiculous.
They shouldn't have let them boys come back and win this series, man.
Well,
Now I'm questioning Ty Lue.
Yeah.
He was up 3-1, right?
What-
They was up 2. He was the 2-2.
What do the Clippers do?
What do you mean? What do they do?
What do they do? You got Kawhi.
You still
got
still need some help.
Well,
man.
you see how good you can be when Kawhi is healthy.
Yeah,
Right.
it's real. It's
They
really
came
not a lot
alive.
of team camaraderie with Kawhi. Only thing he played was the playoffs.
right.
And they made people think they can win it all the way they was
Yeah,
playing.
he
but,
did for a few days.
But you
Now,
ran
my
into
question
the
is,
Joker, and he just
Do
he
you
hard to beat.
bring in a true point guard and have James Harden play off the ball? You can't do that because James Harden need the ball. In
You
his
make
hand.
James Harden your
He had
your
13
point guard,
assists.
and you find another scorer.
Yeah,
You have to
13
find a
assists.
2 guard.
The thing is, he had 13 assists, but he dribbles the air out the ball.
Yeah, he do, man.
See what I'm saying? We need a
He be dribbling too much.
Luka. Him and Luka, they just dribble the air out the ball. They need a more of a set the point guard, set the person up type point guard.
Zubac became a good player.
Yeah, true.
They got good players. Powell.
Is there a player in the NBA that plays like Kyrie? Is there another player that plays like him
What do you mean? Like
that could facilitate the ball, but it can also get off his own shot?
Got
smooth like that?
handles like
That's
that.
that's a real point guard.
Steph.
No, a tradable player, like a younger player.
Oh, younger player.
That could be what the Clippers need is Kyrie.
K Cunningham.
Look at those guards in San Antonio.
Cade Cunningham and
Johnson, Hassel.
and Melo.
Oh yeah, Melo.
Yeah, over there in Charlotte. He already talking about he won out of Charlotte.
Oh, LA would be the right spot for him too.
Yeah. Well, not LA because Luka's dribbling the air at the ball.
No, I'm talking about the
Clippers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he wouldn't fit on with the Lakers. That would be too much recklessness.
Yeah, but it also kind of would it be hard with the Clippers? You have to tell James, hey, you gonna have to play off the ball or something because
Trade his ass for him.
yeah, that is right.
No. So before we go, I want to ask you, what did you tell your friend about Black Lives Matter when he asked you?
I felt like it was good in concept, but what Black Lives Matter did was it just made people feel things. It made it raised awareness of how Black people feel, which is a good and bad thing. It's a good thing to let them know how you feel, but you can't do anything with feelings. It comes with action. I feel like Black people who have a lot of influence in this country don't do enough with it to be able to bring the community up.
Let me say something with that though, because think about in the past, all of the Black people who had influence, they were killed by the government.
Yeah.
And sometimes, I mean,
So you can't really you may have influence,
Yeah.
but you can't take the
Use it.
step because your life, your family's life, all of that is in jeopardy.
it's a risk and there's sacrifice. I'm not saying that there isn't, but I think if enough of us, or a good majority, like it's always just, you have your Malcolm X's and you have your Martin Luther Kings and things like that of that time, but you also had a lot of everyday people who were in the trenches too.
Like the Black Panther Party.
Yeah, and they were organized. I just don't think it was organized enough.
The Black Panther Party?
No, Black Lives Matter. I just don't think it was
So I'm
organized.
saying like the Black Panther Party. So
No,
there
yeah,
was
I
there was a
believe it.
group of
Yeah.
multiple leaders.
I loved,
but they still went in and killed all of them.
but in 2025, It's different.
They don't kill you
They'll
now.
steal you
They'll
and-
just make you
And so,
look crazy.
listen. In
They make you
2020,
like a crackhead.
I understand.
I think they'll kill you still.
I understand. They may try, but in 2025, it's too easy for us to get a message out there to the masses to be able to let it resonate with people and do something with it. Imagine if
No, it's not.
No.
It's
Imagine
not
no.
easy. We
Imagine,
have a platform like this, but we can do this show and tell it about all we want, but it still takes that white
Action.
Zuckerberg to put it in, make it in the stream.
and I understand that.
You know what I'm saying?
I understand that, but with how organized they were nationwide and how much power they had nationwide, give them the internet. And then it would have been crazy. If they would have, if the Black Panthers had the internet back then, it would have been different.
Well, we were more together as a people back then.
Yeah, and I told them, I said, hey, turn on the radio. When you turn on the radio, you wait a couple minutes, you're gonna hear Black influence. You go into any store and you look in fashion magazines, you're gonna see Black influence. Everywhere you go, you see Black influence.
What does that have to do with anything, though?
We are the most influential people on the planet. We know that. How is it that we have so much influence and so little power?
Because the people with the power don't give a damn.
This is what you tell them next time. So you tell them, what do you hear on the radio? You hear Black people, but what are they saying?
No, that's true.
What do you see on TV? You see Black people, but what are they doing?
Right.
What do you far as when you see a news story and there's a crime, who do they show as the face of it?
Right, and that's
But we know all this stuff is not true or factual because we know white people commit crimes. And we know that, you know what I'm saying, we're not the face of everything. We know that the only music that they put out is for us to depict ourselves in a certain way. We know in movies we're depicting ourselves in a certain way. What we're saying,
booty hole brown.
yeah, what we're saying
Pussy
is
pink.
you can see all that. The Black House is on fire.
Yeah.
Because everything that's being created is to make us go against each other.
Right. And
that
was what I said.
And to make us feel like we're superior and we're criminals and things like that.
Inferior.
So inferior. So yeah, the Black House is on fire. We do need some type of support. So them coming up with Black Lives Matter, yeah, Black Lives do matter, but it was a lot of political things with certain people stealing money and things like that,
right?
That don't really have anything to do with the movement,
right? I think that the money that the people who have the money in the Black community aren't putting it in the right places. That's what I think. Your Oprahs, your Tyler Perry's, your who else is it out there? Your Jay-Z's, your Beyonce's, your big execs, your even in the back, like your Andre Harrell's back then, and your baby faces.
I can agree with that, man.
And just imagine if there was a coalition of 50 Black billion 50 Black mega millionaires that came together across entertainment, and they decided to mobilize.
Put the money in
Still
the right
wouldn't-
spot.
They still wouldn't have enough
Yeah,
more
that's
money.
what I'm saying. And they probably would get blackballed, but we can even start on smaller levels.
Fuck it, blackballers. But at least the everyday Black family would be better off, right?
Then they come burn up your whole city.
Yeah.
So that's how they do that. But even on an individual level, every celebrity or every person who came from something came from somewhere.
Right.
So let's say Gary, we got NBA players, we got people like that. Why isn't it a Boys and Girls Club or a park in the community with your name on it?
I 100% agree. I believe that the way that you reverse it is by means of taking care of the kids and education, and that was how the Black Panthers moved.
Right.
I think that if you had if the like I mentioned the names that I mentioned, the Oprahs and the Tyler Perrys and the Jay-Z's and Beyonce's, if they put that money into Black education independently, if they put that money into Black banks independently, if they put that money into Black infrastructure independently and spread it out, and we had enough spread out, it would be things that would fight it. But there's systems that would fight that, but we're still you can't take that education away.
Yeah, but they trying to erase our history.
But that's asking for a lot.
They're trying to erase it is asking for a lot. It is. But
we can
so was the civil rights movement.
But we can start with just individuals doing individual things.
Yeah. Right.
You see what I'm saying? So hold that accountable.
Yeah.
I hold myself accountable.
Right.
I moved to Portage. I have some success in my life. What do I donate my time and my money to? Gary.
Right.
All the time.
And that's another thing that I was telling him about. You know, I've been trying to figure out a way, some way, somehow. I know I've asked you guys and I've said it and I posted it on Facebook.
I just reached out to him today on Facebook.
Yeah, I did
personally.
too. The mayor of Gary.
Yeah, I talked to his son at the meet the other day, but he wasn't there. I asked him if his dad was there. He wasn't there. But next time I see him, I'm gonna say something to him too.
That's the thing. I think that if we I just think that if we get enough people nationwide to be able to move in unison, everyday people, just everyday people, to move in unison. Let's give back to our communities. Let's mobilize. Let's not do it on such a small scale that they can just stamp on our anthill.
Because we're always crabbing at the bucket. We don't want this person in charge and this and all that different stuff.
If you got a billion ants versus one human, I mean, if you got a gazillion ants versus one human, if you got a whole 30 acres of anthills, you know, they can't step on all of them. But if we're all moving together and we're doing those things, then I think that
we gotta move together,
because we all we know is competition with each other,
right? And I told them
that's what they're putting out for us. That's what they're programming us.
Right.
When I started my clothing,
that's the program.
When I started my clothing business, I know other people that own clothing businesses in Gary, around the area.
Yeah, I
talked to them. Hey, trying to connect this person. Hey, your print connect this and that. I'm asking questions. Nobody wanted to tell me nothing. And these are people that say hi to me when they see me in the street.
Yeah. My man's.
But now we come to a bit. Now we don't,
know I know.
Yeah, so
I know.
That's business.
You know I know.
And black people. White people share resources. I see it all the time.
I told
black people share resources with each other too. But far as what you talking about, that's business. You're not going to be able to go into anybody's business and nobody just tell you. I'll
give you this. I've been in sales.
And they're already in that business.
I'll give you this. I've been in sales for over 15 years. All right. When I deal with black people, I get one of two things. Either you want the brother deal or you think I'm lying. And it's every single time. Mm-hmm. Unless I know you, they don't trust me.
And that's the wrong thing.
See, and that's the opposite of me, because I'm the type that I tell people, even my family man, I don't want no deal. I want to pay what you
Right. That's how it should be. That's how it should be.
How am I helping you out and I'm getting a deal?
But that's how we have to.
Family don't even pay for.
We have to educate.
Right, exactly.
We have to educate and re-engineer that thinking. Yeah. And I believe that if we get enough people, because who are the kids listening to? You know, the kids are listening to what's popular. If the message
that is
if we can
true.
make the message in unison popular enough to where we can mobilize and educate and reprogram our thinking, I think we'll be okay.
But that's the thing, though. We can't make that mobilize. We can't make it popular because they always gonna play the Lil Durk on the radio instead of the positive rapper. They always gonna put this out instead of, you know what I'm saying?
Why aren't we building our own radio stations? Why aren't we building our own social media platforms?
Off ratings.
Why aren't we building off? We got enough.
What they listen
we got enough billionaires to keep.
So with us only being 10, think about it. If the black people is 10% of America, right? Mm-hmm. We got 10 different generations within that 10%.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be like our support. We really can't support fully something and get it going like that. We need other regions and religions to get it.
I think if
involved,
I think if the right people were in the right seats in the Black Lives Matter movement and they were doing the right things with the money that they had, it would have went a lot better.
I think it was set up to fail. It's set up to fail, just like anything else that they put forth.
But I mean, the people who were managing it, it's not like they ever managed. They weren't Panthers.
That's why it was set up to fail. You don't even have the right people. Then
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like if we get the right people in that position to be able to,
did they go talk to Jesse Jackson?
They should have.
At least consult him, right?
Should have. You
know what I'm saying? So
should have.
That's a good way to end it, though.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. But I appreciate you guys tuning in with us. Thank you for bringing that up. That's very important. Even though this is a sports podcast, it's a very important conversation, and that's definitely a conversation that we want to continue to have in our community. Especially, you're looking at 5 minorities in one room, and we're all trying to make our way through the world. But
he ain't minority. No, I'm just fucking with him.
This ain't no white boy. This ain't no gringo. Thank you guys for tuning in. As always, like, subscribe, all the things. Send us suggestions. Everybody hitting us up on Twitter. Actually, no, not Twitter, but on TikTok. My man's Ono, he's been hitting us up a lot. He's really funny.
Yeah, he be hitting us
up.
I
fuck with him.
Let us know who won the 1v1 with Dre and Swill. That's all this show was a 1v1.
The 1v1. Just because you talk louder don't mean you won. But thank you. It was a vibe. It was real. This is the panel. They call me Swell, and we will see you guys very, very, very soon.
Deuce.
Holla back.